my games are installed on because it's an external drive, so if it's not plugged in right, it doesn't see it. So that was a pain in the tushy, and I had to restart my computer to make it happen. Okay, I was double checking that my mic was coming through. Let's turn down the volume a little more on the music. It's pretty, but distracting. That should. Oh, hi! How do I approve? Or do I need to approve? Okay. Hi, Flowers for Joy. Or should I just call you Joy? So turn it down a little more. Okay. Okay. I can also turn down. Okay, just Joy. Okay. Also one of the co-creators for this, the missing ingredient and the Princess Keeper that I played last time. So it's safe to say I'll be working through all the games that Joy and Gray have produced together. There's quite a few to play, so given how much I enjoyed playing the Princess Keeper, I'm looking forward to it. So the missing ingredient, Mavis Neela Berry is a baker in a small town. Nearly a year after breaking up with her last boyfriend, she's given up on the possibility of love. Instead, she sets her sights on winning the town's country fair pie competition with her family recipe of blueberry pie. However, when a mysterious person shows up in her chicken coop, she recruits them as a new farmhand. Who are they? What is the story? And why do they act so strangely every time there's a full moon in the sky? Aw, that's super sweet! That is your personal favorite of Gray's! So, the main character that we play is a woman, but the love interest can be a man or a woman. The player can choose the gender: Shauna, she, her, and Sean, he, him. The choice has no impact on the narrative, the game, and the character is the same either way. Turn the music down a little more. I wouldn't say my voice is lovely, but thank you for the compliment. Sean/Shauna is happy to help around the farm and eager to please. They are even more eager to try all of Mavis's delicious baked creations. They enjoy keeping to themselves and hold a lot of their past close to their chest. Are they the one that Mavis has been waiting for, or will the secrets they carry prove too much to overcome? Features: a love story with a supernatural twist, 26,000 words, 2 endings, unlockable CGs, and gallery. So the team: Gray is the creative director, writer, programmer, GUI artist, sprite art, CG art, background editor. Perfect audio. Thank you! Flowers for Joy is the creative director and beta reader. O'Rear Rising is the CG artist, Yuna is the beta tester. So if this looks similar to Gray's other games that I've streamed, Travelers in Tales, Silver Shields, and I know there's more that I haven't said. There's a playlist of my streams of Gray's games that she created on her own on my YouTube channel. This is a submission to the Sexy Werewolf Jam, so get it. So that's a huge hit right there. So let's get started. Please choose the gender of your love interest. The character is identical in either male or female form. So it's me, so I'm gonna pick a female. The pickup truck rumbles along the dirt road into town. I navigate the familiar potholes carefully. I've got my latest batch of eggs to deliver, and I don't need them breaking. Glass bottles with milk sloshing inside cling together in my passenger seat as I make the turn into Wickdare. I love the rolling pin, and is that just supposed to be a loaf of bread, or is it specifically a baguette? And cupcake or muffin, and pie. Cycling along Main Street, I hop out and slam the door behind me. I've never bothered to lock this truck once. Everyone knows everyone here. Any would-be thief wouldn't make it far. And besides, the damn thing is so beat up I'd pay them to take it off my hands. Flipping down the back, a few familiar faces come by, pressing coins and bills into my hand in exchange for this week's bundle of goods from the farm. Fresh eggs for my chickens, mostly, and the blueberries that are now coming into season. I don't know if I've had fresh blueberries. I think I have. Constance fills her carton full of eggs. You must be keeping them very happy. They just like the warmer weather. I was going to practice my lemon cake this week, so you should swing by this evening. Oh, that's sweet, but I've got a lot to do on the farm. Well, you're always invited, you know that, even without Theo. I wince at the sound of his name, and she flashes me a sympathetic smile. I still think you're better off without him, if you don't mind me saying. I do mind, just a little bit, but I force a smile as she goes on her way. Clark, the cafe owner, swings a basket covered by a checkered tea towel onto the hood of the truck. From the wife, in thanks. I uncover a corner and smell warm, freshly baked bread inside. Give her my thanks, will you? He shrugs and pops a blueberry into his mouth once he's filled his carton. These will do well enough instead. I receive a few other things in exchange, just the way it's always been in Wickdare. Eggs for tomatoes, blueberries for bread. There's a little bit of money to save up for the pricier things, like a cut of meat. I wonder how different it is away from here, in the cities with their towering skyscrapers and fancy new technology. I've heard that they all carry mobile phones that can take photos or even access the World Wide Web and send emails. We only have one computer in the local library. I can't remember the last time it was turned on. Oh, jeez. I can't imagine going without the internet now that I have it. Gather my groceries and pop open a cooler to tuck things inside. As I'm rummaging around inside, I feel someone lean against the truck. Book club was on Saturday, you know. Karishma. Interesting name. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I'll come back when you start on the next novel. Hating Nights of Adoration? I'm not really in the mood for a romance. For real, I'd be miserable. I think a lot of people would be miserable. But, I mean, my sister, I have a twin sister. She spends a lot of time hanging out with her friends, and I don't know what I would do if I couldn't contact my best friend, because my best friend lives far enough away that it's easier to keep in touch on the internet rather than hanging out in person, though we do hang out. I close the door and walk side by side with her down the street. A fresh summer breeze picks up. Karishma hands me a bag of laundry to carry, and I follow her into the laundromat. This kind of reminds me of Seaside Inn, which was, I think it was the second one of Gray's games that I streamed. The first one was Travelers and Tales. You can still swing by. Tea and yarn. I know, I don't have time. I haven't done a lot of knitting lately. I have too much to do. Feed the chickens, clean the coop, take care of birdies, do the watering, pick the weeds. You need a helper. You need a farmhand. Alright. I don't need your chore list. I just miss you. She shoves her laundry into the machine and drops in a few coins as it starts to rumble. She sighs, putting her hip against it and fixing me with a look. You know what? I only played through Seaside Inn the once. I haven't tried the other routes. I really need to do that. Can't hide inside that house forever. I'm not hiding. I'm busy. Do you know what it's been like to go down to one person running the place? As if Theo was much help. I pinched the bridge of my nose. He was at least a second pair of hands. I hold the door open for her as we head back outside, and she pulls an errand list out of her purse, carefully checking one item off. Then get the farmhands up and running again. Farmer Gregory has got to know people who can help. I wave her away. I'm handling it on my own just fine. If you were, you'd have time to come to book club. I stop and stare at her as she shrugs and continues walking. Don't be stubborn. I'm not. I just want to show people that I'm fine. As long as the goods get delivered each Monday, then what's the big deal? And clearly I'm not destined for love, so I have to get used to doing things on my own. Well, just because you're not destined for love doesn't mean you have to do stuff by yourself. You can hire someone to help you out, and it doesn't have to result in love. I'm just saying. As someone who's aromantic, love is not required for you to get help to hire someone. It's just, I like playing visual novels where love does result, because that's a good way to experience love without the risk of hurting someone's feelings in the long run. Don't have to fall in love with a farmhand. Just pay them and let them work, then you can take a load off. Even your parents have plenty of help. They don't expect you to do it all by yourself. Isn't that what I was just saying? Oh, I love that skirt. It's so pretty. No, but they expected a wedding and grandkids. David's wife is pregnant, did I tell you? Mom phoned yesterday morning, and he's 7 years younger than me. How is that fair? So it's always all about David. David this, David that. David got a promotion at work. David's getting married. David's having a baby. If I have to hear once again about the kid I had to drive to middle school, I'm going to rip the damn phone off the hook. You're not jealous at all. She leads us to the corner store. Mr. Bainbridge is sitting outside in a knitted cap. He fumbles to hide the cigarette hanging off his white whiskered-covered lip. Mrs. Bainbridge is going to be upset when she smells smoke. Mavis is so stunning, one of my favorite antiques easily. Yeah, she is pretty. Ha, she doesn't need to know. Have you ever gotten anything past her before? He sighs and drops the cigarette and puts it out with the toe of his boot. Say, how's your brother David doing? Grishma tosses her head back and laughs as I let out a sigh. He's doing good, having a baby. Really now, they grow up so fast. You take care of yourself now. You too, Mr. Bainbridge. I hover near the entrance as Karishma picks up a few things for dinner, dutifully carrying her bags for her as we leave. Well, you know what David can't do. And what's that? Bake worth a damn. Remember when he tried to bake cookies? And the fire alarm went off and Dad had to dust the whole kitchen in water? And at 3 in the morning, oh, I remember well, there's still a burn mark on the ceiling that's never come out. He could never win first place in the country fair bake-off. Yeah, well, neither can I, apparently. Don't say that. This will be your year. Mom won with the same blueberry pie recipe 25 years ago, and Grandma won with it 50 years ago. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. The judges are 1,000,000 years old. They probably think that it tastes too familiar. You have to put your own spin on it. Every time I try to do that with one of Grandma's recipes, it never turns out. Then maybe you need some new recipes. They take a lot of time to develop. You have 3 months until the country fair. You can come up with something. I really want to win. She nudges her shoulder against mine as we stop in front of my truck. I know you do. If I could just win and get the farm fixed up, then maybe I could actually prove that I'm good at this. And my parents didn't make a mistake when they left the farm to me. That I can make it work on my own and without Theo. I open the door for her as she climbs inside and swing around to the steering wheel. The engine sputters as I try and get the ignition going. He was a real ass breaking it off like he did. And when he did, the day before the country fair, no wonder I fucked up the pies so badly last year. We should have put him in the skeet shooting as a target. I laugh at that as the engine roars to life and I drive her home. The car is a lot emptier without her when I turn into the farm. It's a lot was sold off when my parents moved, and even more after I broke up with Theo. I just couldn't maintain the land, and my neighbors gave me a fair deal for it. It's me, the chickens, and Bernice the cow, and a rotating selection of crops. Berries have always grown well in this soil, and the blueberries are juicy and sweet and plump. Parking the truck, I unload and fumble with carrying all of the things back to the main house. As the farm got smaller, so did the house, but only in spirit. It once had our whole family, and the promise of my own family in there someday. Now it's just me. At least I have my animals. Ernie barks at the door until I manage to unlatch it and let myself in. Maple doesn't care. She's curled up on the couch, tail flicking. She raises her sleepy head at me and gives me a toothy yawn. Good to see you, too. I bend down and pet Ernie, who flops at my feet until I scratch his belly. I unload the groceries and wash up to start prepping dinner. I've lost my taste for cooking since it's just been cooking for one, and I only heat up some tomato soup out of a can and plop down on the couch next to Maple. Even the dining table is collecting dust. Can't remember the last time I had people over. Growing up, the place was always full of people. Extended family, friends, neighbors, the ranch hands. I didn't realize how quiet it could be until my first night completely alone. I can hear the crickets chirping and the sound of the wind through the trees. I grab a jacket to head outside. Even in summer, it cools off once the sun goes down. Check the padlock in the barn, making sure all the animals are safe and secured, and do a sweep of the place. There isn't a lot of light out here, so I'm grateful for the bright full moon above. I stop and watch it for a moment. Remember the nights of staring out my window at that very same moon. At least you're here with me. I lean on the fence and nearly tumble face first before catching myself as it cracks beneath me. Not another thing broken. I sigh and add it to the list as I trudge back inside. The door flaps behind me, the lock broken on that too. And light in the kitchen, and the leaky faucet in the bathroom, and the wobbly legs on the chair. It's for the best that I've never had people over. It would be shameful to have them around in this state. You need help. I toss a cat toy of a little mouse for Maple, who looks at it with disinterest. Ernie goes after it instead, batting it around the floor and chasing after it. Of course the dog enjoys the cat toy more than the cat does. My eyes land on a few pictures on the mantle of my family growing up. School picture day photos of me and David, my parents' wedding day. There used to be photos of Theo and me there too. I even bought an album especially for us to save all of the memories, with plenty of blank space for when we were to start the next chapter of our lives together. Sad, angry, nothing. Get my dice. Nope. I'm grabbing everything except a D6. There we go. Okay. Since there's 3 options, I grabbed a D6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. I feel nothing. I feel an emptiness when I think of him and remember how I thought my life was going to turn out. The time for tears and anger had long passed, and now he's just a bad memory, worth nothing to me. This is a good idea. Why did I think of that? I was watching someone else play, and they were using a dice to help them decide, make some decisions. And I was like, hey, that's a cool idea. So then I started playing Our Life, and I would use dice to help me make decisions for that too. There are some situations where I don't use dice to help me make decisions, but when it feels like it's not, like it could go, like it doesn't impact the direction of the game, then I'll roll dice to do it. That album is locked away in the attic now. Karishma wanted to burn it after he left me. I really thought we were going to have it all. What did I do wrong? It's eating me up inside, even as Karishma and the others insist it wasn't my fault. But I just don't know where I've gone wrong with my entries for the country fair every year and relationships with this house. I have to get it together. Ernie barks at me, dropping the toy at my feet. I half-heartedly check it again as he goes scrambling after it. Pet Maple's ears and her tail flicks against my lap. I'm going to win the country fair this year. I know I will. I have to. And this place will get all fixed up, and I'll be thriving, and who needs Theo? Not me. You were right, Maple. You tried to fight him when he first came in. You have good instincts. She rolls over, allowing me to rub her soft, fluffy tummy for a bit. You're a sweet girl. I cover her yawn with my hand and make it up the stairs to bed. I leave the door open for when inevitably Ernie and Maple will sneak in to sleep during the night. Brush my teeth, pull on pajamas, and get curled up under the sheets. There's a crack in the curtain and I can see the brilliant full moon staring back at me. Good night, moon. I reach over and tug the curtain shut before turning over and falling into a deep sleep. Surprisingly, none of them, well, my sister's dogs will call up with whoever's in bed. When she's away, my brother and I take turns taking care of the dogs and sleeping with them. And we used to sleep in my sister's bed, but it just wasn't comfortable for us, so we actually take the dogs into our own rooms. And there's not much room on the bed with 2 dogs in it and me. But none of our cats like to cuddle with us. They'll cuddle with my parents, but they won't cuddle with me. It's very sad. Eat. I wake up groggily, attempting to turn my alarm clock off. It's just dawn, the first few pink streaks of the sky painted across. Rolling out of bed, I stumble into my working clothes and hang onto the wall as I head downstairs. Maple is much more lively and entwines around my legs and meows at me until I stop and feed her. Once at the smell of the soft food, but she goes crazy for it as I scrape it into her bowl. Ernie sits patiently, his tail wagging as I fill his bowl up as well. Everyone wants to eat. What about me, huh? They do not seem to care that they take priority and dig in without so much as a thank you. I grab a coat and head outside. The crisp morning air fills my lungs, the sweet smell of the garden, and the earthy, warm smell of the farm. It's not a good smell, but it's familiar, comforting. It's a chilly morning, overcast. My knee is aching, which means it will likely rain later today. I can feel it in the air, and I button up my jacket tighter. I grab the bag of feed and make my way over to the chicken coop. I can already hear them clucking hungrily. But when I unlatch the fence, I see that the lock has fully failed, and it just swings open. The hens run up to me, and I scatter feed around, but then glance up at a weird lump over by my wheelbarrow and jump. The feed bag flings out of my hands, spilling out. The chickens swarm it, poking happily at this new treasure trove. I make my way over, slowly grabbing my shovel. I carefully poke the sleeping lump with the end of it, and it rolls over, revealing a person? Can I help you? She lets out a groan, rubbing her eyes and blinking. She startles as well, scrambling back. Oh God, I'm sorry. She rubs her head, holding her hands up. It was a rough night. I don't even remember. As if this is a huge-ass clue right here. The moon. She glances around, confusion obvious. I lean in, trying to see if I can smell booze, but I can't. You're not from around here. Where are you from? Batterstown, originally. Haven't been back in years, though. I go where the road takes me. And why did it bring you to Wickdare, and my farm in particular? She's in a safe place to sleep for the night. She glances over as a curious hen clucks and walls up next to her. She reaches out a hand, stroking her feathers. Found sanctuary here. Sorry for the intrusion. I could be on my way. I lower the shovel warily and dig it into the dirt to lean on. You've been here all night? It must be half frozen. Maybe only a quarter frozen. It'd be wrong not to invite you inside to warm up a spell. What's your name? Shauna. I'm Mavis. I offer a hand up and she takes it. Her grip is very strong and I can feel her rough calluses. Working hands. I head back inside and get a fire lit to bring warmth to this drafty house. Shauna hovers by it, rubbing her hands. You can take a seat. She listens as she sinks into the couch. There's a wince that furrows her brow, and I notice a redness along her forearm where she rubs it. You all right? Put the kettle on the stove to heat it up until it starts whistling. Just thinking myself is all. It's fine. I frown and take a look. That's a nasty looking cut along her arm. Well, why don't you say something sooner? That could get infected. I shake my head and grab a few things from my bathroom. I wet a washcloth and wring it out in the sink and sit across from her. Here. She lets me take her arm. I clean the area up as the best I can, the water dribbling down. She's patient and still, allowing me to work. I uncork my bottle of rubbing alcohol and apply it to a cloth, carefully dragging it along the cut. She winces. Sorry, it's going to sting. She nods, biting her lip and looking away as I carefully apply a gauze bandage to the area. You a doctor, too? Ha, hardly. But growing up on a farm, you tend to run into a lot of accidents. I've been bandaging up my little brother as long as I can remember. You didn't have to do all of that. What kind of person would I be if I didn't? Neighbors help each other in Wickdare. And, well, you spent the night in my chicken coop, so that makes you enough of a neighbor. Ernie has plodded over and nuzzles his head against her leg as she reaches down to pet him. His tail wags excitedly. I've got a cat, too, if you don't mind. Oh, not at all. I love animals. You probably won't see her. She's very shy around strangers. But just as the words leave my mouth, Maple comes crawling out from beneath the couch. Shauna extends a hand for her to sniff. She gives her a funny look, but then jumps up on the couch and begins kneading her lap. Or not. They're both so sweet. Yeah, they're good company. Is it just you here then? Just me. Speaking of, I scratch the back of my neck. Well, I've got a lot of work to do. You sort of threw off my schedule. Sorry about that. I won't keep you for long. No, you don't need to. I wave a hand. It's fine. I just have a lot to do. I get antsy when I'm behind. Maybe I can make it up to you. As thanks? We don't really do favors around here, but I look her up and down. She looks good enough. I think back to what Christmas and I talked about. It almost feels like a sign. You stayed in town long? Wouldn't mind it. I lean against the doorframe, worrying my lip against my teeth. Listen, maybe this is sort of sudden, but I've actually been thinking of bringing on a farmhand to help around. Can't pay you much, but there's a guest house on the property you could stay in and hot meals. I just need an extra pair of hands. You good at fixing stuff? I've been known to be quite handy. Good enough for me. You've got the job if you want it. Just like that? I gestured to Maple, who's now curled up in her lap and getting ear scratches. She's a good judge of character, and I'm a little desperate. Well, I can help you with that broken fence at least. It can be a trial run, but I just thought... No, it's a good thing. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm just not used to this kind of treatment, if I'm being honest. Usually it's a hassle to find work and a place to crash. She scratches the back of her neck, glancing up at me with a smile. I'm a hard worker. I won't make you regret it. Do I gotta sign anything? I wave a hand away. That's city folk stuff. Take my coat back on, rolling the sleeve hem back. No, I really gotta get to work. When you've warmed up enough, I'll come around to show you to the bunkhouse. Back out in the crisp morning air, I take a deep breath and hope that what I just did was a good idea. But part of it feels like fate, like Dad always says. And a stranger coming in just around the time I was starting to think about hiring a farmhand feels like just something he would rave about. I spend the morning in the barn, refilling Bernice's feed and giving her the attention she deserves. She's not been producing as much milk recently, so I've been trying to keep her relaxed and happy as I can. I take my wicker basket that's lined with a gingham tea towel and go and collect the eggs for the chicken coop. The rooster crows at me. Calm down, you. It doesn't deter him. It never does, and he chases me about as I shut the wobbly gate behind me and try to balance the basket of eggs. As I head up the porch stairs, Shauna is just heading out. She startles slightly, hopping out of my way and pulling the door back for me before we collide into each other. Whoa, precious cargo. I sidestep carefully and enter through the kitchen door with a laugh. Not that precious. They lay every day on average. Oh, wasn't talking about the eggs. Oh, smooth! I let out a flustered laugh and set the basket down and dust off my hands. I'm alright too, thank you. Was looking for a toolbox. Do you have one around here? Oh yeah, let me show you. Show her outside and lead her around to a small work shed that my dad built by hand. I rummage around until I find a rusty red toolbox and hand it to her. She takes it gingerly, her hand brushing against mine as she does so. Yeah, it got me giggling. That's just such a smooth line in the delivery. Thank you, ma'am. I let out a laugh. Oh, no, don't do that. I'm just Mavis. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's alright. I don't know. The farmhands would always call my father Sir, so I understand. I could always call you Sir instead. I laugh again. No, that's alright. I decided when I was little that I was never going to have titles like that. I'm not your boss. You don't need to treat me with any sort of respect. Everyone deserves respect. She begins to lean the fence post back up in place, unhooking the old nails with the back of the hammer and lining it up to add the new ones as we talk. Well, you don't need to call me ma'am. How about that? We can figure out the details as we go. I was going to say reverence for the record, not respect. You don't want to be revered? Well, not for this, and revered may not be the right word, but I like to be admired for my baking. There's this country fair. Have you ever been? Not around here, but the one at home when growing up. I'd always get cotton candy and lose all my money at the baseball toss. Really? Cotton candy? She shrugs with a grin. I've got a sweet tooth. But it's just sugar and artificial flavor and coloring. There's no depth of flavor or interesting textural combinations. She hammers in another nail, wobbling the fence post in place. But that's why it's delicious. I'll show you some real desserts, mark my words. Well, if you bake for the country fair, you should have a taste tester. You just got a new duty added to your list. She chuckles, hammering the fence back up. Speaking of, bet you haven't eaten, have you? I'm going to make breakfast. Come in round half an hour? I can eat in the bunkhouse if you'd prefer the privacy. No, don't be silly. The place is a wreck. We'll need to tackle that later. You come and eat inside. I'm not going to send you off by yourself. I head back in and wash up, then I mix baking soda and flour together with a couple pinches of salt and softened butter. With a little water, I make a few dough balls, which I place aside under a tea towel to rise. I enjoy making homemade tortillas. They add an extra zing to the meals. For a couple of months, when my family still lived at home here with me, I tried making homemade naan for my mom's cooking. Delicious, but unfortunately more of a hassle with getting the ingredients. The store-bought is just as good for that, and homemade is reserved for special occasions. While I'm working on that, I chop up fresh bell pepper from the garden and watch Shauna out the kitchen window. She's still working on the fence and making good progress. It's strange. Suddenly the house isn't so quiet anymore. And not just because there's someone else around. Once the dough has risen, I roll it all out flat and toss it onto my skillet with a drizzle of olive oil. When the bubbles start appearing and the bottom looks golden, when I take a peek, I flip it over. The fresh tortillas are delicious, so I scramble the eggs and add the peppers into a hefty wrap and plate it all up. I pull the string on the bell at the door to get Shaw's attention. She looks up eagerly and comes inside, heading right to the sink to wash up. I offer her a tea towel. She reaches over, pulling out my chair for me before I can sit down. Oh, you don't have to. At least I could do. Thank you for the meal. She digs in rather ravenously. I wonder then when the last time she ate was. I feel a little bad about not making food even earlier. She takes the edge of the cloth napkin, carefully wiping her mouth. This is delicious. I figure you must be hungry. Half starved, if I'm being honest. She's quick to clean her plate when I'm only halfway through my breakfast. She gives me a tip of the head, bringing her plate over to the sink to wash it up. Oh, don't worry about the dishes. You went through the trouble of making breakfast, so I'll help clean up. That's when my family works, is whoever cooks doesn't do the dishes. Someone else does the dishes. She runs the other dishes through the sink, scrubbing them clean. I find myself just sitting back and watching her in quiet delight. When was the last time someone else did the dishes? Theo never did, come to think of it. Ass. And speaking of... My gaze wanders down, settling on her ass for a moment. I take a hasty sip of tea, quickly averting my gaze. Oh, someone's an ass person? I mean, I get the idea of if you made the mess, you clean up, but at the same time, some of the cooking just takes a lot of effort. Like we did corned beef and cabbage yesterday because it was St. Patrick's Day. We always do corned beef and cabbage, or try to, and you know that took a lot of effort. So I did the dishes because my mom did the corned beef and cabbage. Simple as that. A helpful handywoman who's easy on the eyes? There's worse people who could have stumbled onto the farm. The rest of the day passes smoothly. I'm able to catch up on my chores around the farm, carefully tending to the blueberries that grow in abundance in the fields, my watering can at my side. In the distance I hear Shauna hammering away. After dinner I take her into the bunkhouse, brushing down a layer of dust that's collected. Sorry, the light bulb burned out and I've never had a cause to replace it. I can do it if you give me a little bit. I head back in and find a spare. She gets up on a step stool to switch it out. At one point she wobbles, the stool unsteady beneath her. I reach out, grabbing her waist to steady her. She glances down and grins. Good catch. Just doing my part. Keep a steady grip as she finishes off and offer her a hand down. She lands back with a quiet oof. Sorry, this place is a little banged up. You've got a warm bed. It's better than most nights for me. Ugh, that says a lot right there, doesn't it? Got something in my shoe. Hang on. There we go. You've really been without a home for that long? She grows quiet and I regret asking. Sorry, I didn't mean... No, it hasn't been the easiest. I always enjoyed traveling, but it can be hard on the body. That's fair. Why don't you go home? Nothing really to go back to. It's hard to explain. Do we want to push it or not? We just bet. I nod, accepting that she's just a little elusive. I hover awkwardly near the door. Well, good night now. Back at you, Mavis. I shut the door and head back to my own house. It feels just a little bit colder, a little darker without her presence. When I head to my room, I glance out the window to the front door of the bunkhouse. I wonder idly what my family would think of her. She's a hard worker, no doubt. Dad would appreciate that. And finally, someone's taken up all of his old tools he left behind. I'm not sure it warrants a special phone call, but I suppose I could ask them myself the next time they ring. No doubt with the news that David's the new Prime Minister. With a huff, I crawl into my sheets and switch off my lights. Not long after, the little window in the bunkhouse switches off too. I settle into my new routine. It's so nice to have an extra pair of hands. I don't know how I managed before. Shauna fixes up a lot of the things that have fallen by the wayside. Broken fences, dead light bulbs, a loose window pane. It's a relief, but I do a serious cleaning of my house and the bunkhouse. I carry bundles of laundry out in a basket, hanging them up to dry in the summer sun. Meanwhile, I see her leaning on the fence to the chicken coop and talking sweetly to the birds when she doesn't think I see. I watch her quietly for a moment, smiling to myself before continuing my chores. Because of the extra time I have now, I can go back to focusing on other things. I'm working a whisk into the mixing bowl of batter when Shauna comes in to wash up, glancing over. What you making? Blueberry muffins, if they turn out. With your latest crop? Can't overwork the batter, though. I place it down to let it rest and get the muffin tin out. And the fresh fruit sometimes messes with the moisture level. I was going to bring them into town tomorrow. My friend runs a book club, but I haven't been in a while. Can I have one? I laugh at her pleading expression. Of course you can have a couple if you like. You're my taste tester, after all. Will you submit this recipe for the country fair? Not this one. I start scooping the muffin batter into the tin carefully, trying to get a good ratio of blueberries in each. I grew up baking pretty much as early as I can remember. Shauna grabs a tea towel and wipes off the excess flour from the counter for me. The signature was my grandmother's blueberry pie. She won with that one before, and my mother too. I want to win with it too. They like stuff like that, the whole passed down from family idea. Do you want to have kids one day? In a while. I nod. I'd like that, not anytime soon, but eventually I struggle for a moment. Just worry about life running away from me. I shrug. My younger brother's having his first child, and I don't know. I guess I thought my life would look different. I shake my head and quickly mask a smile. Sorry, didn't mean to get all. No, I'm the one who asked. I open the oven door and place the muffin tin inside and dust my hands. Sorry, it hasn't gone to plan. That's alright, I'll just pivot. And I can put my focus on making the most amazing bake for the country fair. I know they'll be proud of me for that. They should be proud that you've managed to do all of this on your own. Gestures to the farm at large with a sweep of her hand. I let out a weak laugh. I don't know if I have, that's the problem. It's not in nearly as bad shape as you made it out to be. That's charitable. What about you? What's your family like? She shrugs, glancing out the window. I haven't talked to them in a few years. Oh, really? I blink. I call them every week, imagining going years without talking to them. They're all right, though. I love them. It's just been hard to keep in contact, especially when I'm on the move so often. It suits us all just fine. She smiles, giving a breezy answer. I've got a couple of things I need to do. I'll get back at it. She gives me a tip of her head and heads out the back door. I watch her out the window, leaning a hip against the kitchen counter. I find it so easy to talk to her, like the words just spill out of me. Whenever I try and ask her anything personal, she clams up. Am I going about it in the wrong way? Am I being too nosy? I start on the dishes while the muffins bake, lost in thought. It's later in the afternoon, long after the muffins have cooled, that I head outside to check on the animals. Bernice tends to be very fussy if I don't visit her, and I spend some time tidying up the barn. Hello. I hear a loud thwack that draws my attention, the sound repetitive. I head around the side of the barn to see Shauna with an axe, chopping wood. She raises the axe and brings it down hard on the stump, splitting it in two. Wiping her brow, she glances up and smiles at me. Firewood stockpile looked a little low, thought I'd get ahead of it. It pays to be well prepared. Take a moment to admire her, the strong muscles working effortlessly. Another wooden log gets shattered and she neatly stacks it up with the others. My gaze flicks down to the slip of skin that shows when her shirt rides up. Do you need help with anything? Hmm? Oh! I quickly glance away, clearing my throat. Something distracting you? Is she smirking at me? The expression falls away as she goes back to the wood, but I swear I saw it for a flash. Just a lot of my mind. Sorry, I'm going to... I point back to the house. She nods. When I glance back, her eyes are following me the whole way. Skipping back into the house, I drum my fingers on the counter and shove a muffin in my mouth to distract myself. I push the curtain aside to keep watching her, the way her body bends with the strength to chop the wood. I mumble fuck with my mouth full and force myself to walk away. I mean, I don't blame her. The next morning, after I've tended to the garden and fed the chickens, there's a knock at the door. Wiping my hands with the tea towel, I pull it open to reveal my neighbor, Constance, standing there with her grocery bag. How are you doing, dear? I lean against the doorframe and smile at her. Just fine, and yourself? Just wanted to have a pop around, see if I could get my eggs from you early. I've run out, and during breakfast, too. I've got some fresh ones, just give me a sec. I head back and place them in a carton for her as she hands me a few coins in return. As she does so, she's on her tiptoes to peer over my shoulder and into the rest of the house. Is there something else you were after? Someone's being a nosy neighbor. Well, Lizzie mentioned that she saw a woman she didn't recognize in the yard yesterday. Have you got company around? Oh, that's Shauna. She's my new farmhand. A new farmhand? So has she come to stay? Does she live in the house? In the bunkhouse. She hums, still trying to see if she can get a peek at this mysterious new person. Is she a friend of your father's? How do you know her? Where did she come from? So many questions. Why would I make something up? I found her asleep in the chicken pen and offered her a job. She wrinkles her nose. So you don't know her, and she was asleep just right there in the dirt? Well, be careful now. Strangers are exactly that. Strange. I give a tight-lipped smile. She's a hard worker. That's all that matters right now, and I'm getting to know her better. She raises a brow. Oh? Oh, not anything like... But I already see her mind going a mile a minute. Well, I'll have to get a look at her sometime. Or just meet her. Well, yes, if we're to be neighbors now. You really could have picked anyone in town to be a farmhand. My nephew Ethan is only a couple of years younger than you. I know him a bit, yes. A nervous, awkward, gangly sort. Not the right type to work the farm. I'll consider it if I feel like I need more help. She turns on her heel and heads off with her eggs. She doesn't seem to be in much of a rush to continue making breakfast. I suspect the eggs were simply an excuse to interrogate me about Shauna. Yep, absolutely. Luckily, it won't happen with everyone now. Constance will be sure to let the entire town know by this afternoon. It's getting close to the bi-weekly book club meeting, and I pack all the muffins into a wicker basket and cover it with a checkered tea towel. I glance out the window and watch as Sean has been in the garden digging up new earth for more planting. I pull open the back door and call to her. I'm headed out soon. Do you want any more muffins? She looks up eagerly at the sound of my voice, a smile across her features. Or, actually, do you want to come with? She heads over, placing the shovel carefully against the fence. I'd love to, unless you'd rather me stay and work. You've been working all morning. You deserve a break, and you haven't had a chance to see the town yet, have you? She shakes her head. Well, we'll take the truck. I'm going to grab a few things. And I'll go wash up. I'd like to make a good first impression. Well, I scratch the back of my neck. I should warn you now, news travels real fast around here. I'm sure everyone already is in a tither about you. We don't get a lot of strangers. She chuckles. Well, I wish I had my nice clothes for the occasion. Like to play dress up? Heck no, I usually end up ruining whatever I wear. But I recognize when a situation calls for it, like making a good first impression. Wish I had a do-over with you. I don't mind, a little strange, but I actually don't mind strange. She has a funny look on her face before forcing a chuckle, and I'm grateful for it. I load the truck up while she washes up, and I hop in the front seat as she jogs down the front porch steps. She stops, placing a hand on the hood. This old thing still runs? Here I thought it was a lawn decor. I laugh as I reach over to get the door for her, and she pulls herself inside. Don't jinx it. She hasn't given out on me yet. Don't suppose you're also a mechanic? Huh, no, I don't even drive. I step on the gas as we hit the bumpy road ahead. Well, you can't be perfect. The truck stutters until I slam the dashboard and it roars up again, and we make our way into town. I park on the street just outside the cafe, the Vanilla Teapot. Exchanged hands and styles so often over the years, I'm sure it would be completely unrecognizable to my family if they ever visited. As soon as I hop out, I notice a couple of older women whispering to themselves and pointing at the truck where Shauna has just slammed the door shut. When they see me looking, they both quickly turn their heads inwards and away. I share a glance and smile with Shauna. We're here. She grabs the door for me, my hands full with the basket. It's cozy, it smells of coffee and dough. A few of my creations sit on display. Mavis, long time no see round here. Are these for me? I shake my head. Sorry, for the book club. Your stuff sells like hotcakes, and they're not even hotcakes. You could really help me out if you made more of your stuff, you know. I know, I don't always have the time. The excuse falls from my lips as he glances at Shauna. And who's your friend? She reaches over the counter to shake his hand. The cafe owner has to tug off his disposable glove first. It's an awkward moment of time Shauna is left hanging before he can return the shake. Shauna, nice to meet you. This place is lovely. So nice of you to say. I heard you're helping Miss Mavis around the farm. She glances back at me, a little startled. I told you news travels fast. Can I get you two anything? Oh no, I'm alright. I like a coffee and anything she wants. Oh no, you don't have to. But she's already slammed down the very same bills I paid her with a couple of days ago. She takes her coffee in a hand-painted mug, and I scan the menu. If it were me, I would pick hot chocolate, because I love chocolate. But let's go with tea. Give Shauna a quiet thanks as I take my tea and head to the seating area where a few familiar faces are waiting. Karishma beams at me and rises to hug me. You made it! Well, someone gave me a lot of shit for not showing up. I didn't do the reading though, so don't be mad. I brought muffins as a peace offering. She laughs and takes the basket from me. I wave at some of the others. I've known everyone in this town my entire life. Some people come and go, but it's like time just stands still and looks there. And you brought a new friend. Do the free drinks go for the rest of us too, or is Mavis just special? Oh, I can... I raise a hand, stopping her. She's kidding. I'm not. I want someone to buy me coffee. She grins and takes a seat. The muffins are handed out and are a big hit. I always feel that flutter of nerves before someone bites into my baking. Always a fear of them not liking it. I'm glad they're well received. You should put chocolate in these. I feel like it would take away from the fresh fruit. I can't get high-quality chocolate chips around here. I think they're delicious as is. Give her a small smile and pull out my latest crafting project, a cross-stitching circle that I begin to work on as some of the others begin to discuss the latest chapters of the novel they're working through. I zone out, content to just listen to the sound of their voices and the tinny speaker of the cafe. Karishma leans over to me, looking between the two of us. So you took my advice, huh? Huh? I told you needed a farmhand. You're right. Your favorite words. So you just showed up one day, huh, Shauna? She scratches the back of her neck with a laugh. Had a rough night. I'm grateful Mavis took a chance on me. I could use the work. She hums and gives me a funny look, lowering her voice as she leans in. Are you all right? Yes, I'm fine. Why do you ask? You're being spontaneous for inviting strangers to work with you. You know, outside of Wickdare, most people who get hired are strangers. It's only weird because we don't have a single stranger here. She raises her hands in surrender. I never said it was bad. It's just unusual for you, that's all. I actually think it's a good thing. You need a little bit of shaking up. I sigh and carefully thread my cross-stitch. Shauna seems to be enjoying herself. The other members of the book club have pretty much abandoned their book discussion to work on a much more interesting topic instead, in generating a new person. Of course! Where's her hometown? What does her family do for work? How long she plans on staying? She answers without complaint, with a friendly smile the entire time. I have to admire her patience as she has analyzed. And the most important question, what's your favorite color? She laughs. Blue, actually. It's one of the only colors I can see, but only certain shades. Huh? I'm colorblind. I can't really see red or green, but blue and yellow are just fine. And oh, look at that! Mavis's outfit is blue and yellow. So you can't really see most of the countryside then? She shrugs. It's beautiful to me anyhow, even if it's a little muddled. You can see all of Mavis then. She chuckles. That's true. Her wardrobe is easy to spot at least. Such adorable detail, yes. The book club wraps up around sunset and I take my now empty basket and get the truck started. Wave Karishma goodbye as Shauna climbs inside. Your friends are nice. Inquisitive, more like. I don't mind. It's nice to get to know new people. A little exhausting. Really? I thought you were holding your own. I prefer the company of just a couple at a time. Sorry, I didn't know. I wouldn't have. No, it's alright. I didn't mind, and I do it again. Just probably take an early night if you don't mind. I don't have a schedule for you or anything. I'm just grateful you're helping out. You don't need to work all hours of the day. The truck rumbles down the road back to the farm. What kind of shirt do you think you're wearing? She laughs. Green? Nah, burgundy. She shrugs. Doing my best. Can't be perfect. The headlights shine up ahead, piercing through the dimming evening. The crickets are chirping again on this warm summer's night. I'm making bread one afternoon when I notice that a vase has been recently washed and filled with flowers. As the dough proves, I open up the back door as she comes in from milking Bernice. Did you do that? The flowers? She grins, bounding up to me. Do you like them? I picked them out from the fields. They're beautiful, but what's the occasion? Does there need to be one? They were beautiful, and I thought of you. My laugh comes out in a nervous flutter. Well, thank you. That vase hasn't been used in a long time. It's nice to cheer the place up. I watch her through the window, wringing my hands together as the flowers dance in the corner of my vision, the summer breeze filling the kitchen. There's a funny little ache in my chest. When was the last time someone got me flowers? She's right. They do cheer the place up. One afternoon, I drive in with my pickup truck from a neighboring farm. Shauna comes over to help me unload. Building a bonfire with all this wood? I laugh and shake my head. I get scrap wood from the surrounding farms and upcycle it. I like to make garden pots and give them to all my neighbors. I'm not the only one with the garden. With any leftovers, it goes into the shed, and I've been using it for repairs. Well, as much as I can. I'm not nearly as handy as you. I'll be glad to have the extra material to work with, and maybe I can help you with the plant pots? There we go. I love that. Many hands make light work after all, and the neighbors will appreciate it. Maybe it'll be a good way for them to get to know you a little bit, too. Everyone is a little wary of strangers around here, but once you get to know someone, they aren't a stranger anymore. We gather the wood together and spend the next couple of days carefully constructing a few new things for the farm and my neighbors. Shauna even surprises me one day with a birdhouse to sit in the front garden, and I can hear the birds sing there every morning. I wind the curly cord around my wrist, leaning against the wall as my mother speaks on the other end of the receiver. And the doctor said they think it's going to be a boy. Oh gosh, this takes me back. How long has it been since anyone's had a landline like this? Even we got rid of ours because we were just getting solicitors on our landline. Anyone that actually wanted to talk to us would just call our cell phones. And I bought the cutest baby clothes. Do you think I should get all blue? What if it turns out to be a girl? Maybe she'll like blue too. But how will people know it's my granddaughter? I can't believe I'm going to be a grandma. Am I that old already? Yes, and I'm going to be an aunt. You really haven't heard from Theo? Mum. It's not like he's a stranger now. I thought he was going to be my son-in-law. He doesn't live in town anymore. I haven't kept up with him. I heard you've got a new farmhand around the place. Constance gave me a ring. Someone had to. Are you sure you're all right over there? I wonder about you out there on your own. But I'd hate to have the farm out of our family's hands. Oh, sweetie, you know we'd move back, but David needed the help in the city, and especially with a baby on the way. It's fine. I'm handling it. I just hired a farmhand to help out around the place. Can you afford to pay her? Yes, I can afford to pay her. What do you think hired means? Don't use that tone with me, Mavis Neela. I sigh. Sorry, Mum. I love you. Is she nice at least? Helpful? She's been great. Anyway, I should get going. Lunchtime here. Oh, I always forget about those time zones. You take care and don't take so long to phone next time. We'll see if your father can get some time off and we can visit you sometime. Ooh, if you can't, don't worry about it. He'd come say hello, but he's out for a nap. I can go wake him up. Don't disturb him. It's all right. Just send my love. After saying I love yous and goodbyes, I hang up and let out a breath, squeezing my palm with a shake of my head. I make a couple of sandwiches for lunch and bring one out to Shauna. Both of us take a seat on the porch swing outside the bunkhouse. The fresh air is nice out here. If you don't mind the barn smell. Never have. I lean back, watching the white, fluffy clouds roll by. Did you bake the bread yourself? Every loaf. Have you ever thought of doing it professionally? No, I just wouldn't have time with everything else going on and making it into a job. I feel like it would suck the fun out of it, you know? I swing my foot beneath me as the bench rocks beneath us. Where have you worked before here? A little late to be asking for a resume. I laugh, shaking my head. I'm just curious. Well, I told you I worked as a farmhand before. What town? Pretty far from here. She shrugs, taking another big bite. And you've just made it on your own all this time. I don't mind it. There's freedom in it. Don't you get lonely? I've never minded being alone. She glances my way, the wind tousling her hair. Have you been lonely here? I busy myself with the sandwich for a moment. I go into town. I have the book club. I was just talking with my mom on the phone. My neighbors are friendly. That's not answering the question. You're one to talk. We stare at each other for a moment, and she gets to her feet, dusting off her hands. Thank you for lunch. She tips her head at me and walks down back to her farm chores. I watch her go. The next morning, after tending to the garden and feeding the chickens, I go and wash up and take a look at the sky out the window. It's a beautiful sunny day. A perfect day for a picnic, I can hear my father's voice in my head say. I head down to my kitchen and grab my rolling pin and begin to make a pastry dough. I've not made many pastries. They often take a very long time, but I have a vision to make a pastry brie with cream cheese and blueberry filling. I work the dough, trying to figure out how to laminate it like I've heard about in cookbooks. I let it chill in the fridge while I make the blueberry filling, mashing them up and tasting a bit. They are very sweet, with just a touch of bitterness on the tongue. I think back to the pie I made for the country fair. My homegrown ingredients and perfect bake have to be enough to win this year, right? Pulling out the pastry dough, I begin to braid it and fill it with jam before popping it in the oven after giving it an egg wash. Washing the dishes, I call out the window. Shauna glances over and leans against the windowsill with a grin. You rang? I should ring the bell when it's supper time. Good way to train me to be hungry every time you ring it. Speaking of being hungry, I was wondering if you'd like to join me on a picnic. A grin splits across her face. I'd love that. What's the occasion? Just this beautiful day. Days like these, my family would always head up and enjoy a picnic in the afternoons. There's a beautiful spot by the lake. That's a nice memory. I'll get washed up. I'm making some pastries. They should be ready by the time you're done. She heads off and I tidy up the kitchen. When my timer goes off, I check the oven and pull them out. Oh, I frown looking them over. They didn't rise at all. I cut one open and it's dense and soggy. All the butter had melted out and the beautiful flaky texture that's supposed to have is nowhere to be found. It's just a mess of underbaked dough and blueberry paste. My shoulders drop and I let out a sigh as I stare at my sad little creation. Shauna creaks open the door, jacket on. You ready? I shake my head and dump the failed pastries into the garbage. I guess I'm not a good pastry chef. I make pies, but I wipe my hands on my apron and untie it hanging on the back of the chair. Sorry, I wanted to make something special for today. Aw, I'm trying to remember. I watched the Great British Bake Off. I think, she forgot to actually let them rest before she put them in the oven. She leans against the counter. Hey, it's alright. Things go wrong. You can always try again some other day. I flip through the cookbook and frown, muttering to myself as I scan the pages. I think they take a lot longer to make than I thought. I have to chill for way longer. I did the lamentation all wrong. Lamentation or lamination? I feel Shauna nudge my arm. Why don't we pick up something from town? You don't need to be hard on yourself. I nod and we jump into the truck, and I toss the picnic basket and blue gingham blanket back in the back seat. We stop by the grocery in town where I buy 2 glass bottles of lemonade and some fresh pita wraps. Shauna grabs a little box that has 4 mixed berry muffins, and we take our haul on the dirt road outside of town. Parking the truck, we head near the lakeside. Ducks are gliding around in the water and dragonflies are buzzing around the reeds. Shauna spreads out the picnic blanket while I set up the food. Well, it's not homemade like I wanted, but this is perfect. Cheers. We clink glasses and the taste of the lemonade is sweet and sour on my tongue. Do you wish your family lived closer? That's a good question. I know what I would answer. But I love my family. But there is such a thing as living too close to your family. I shrug. Not really. I think it's good to spread my wings a bit, even if it's still in the town I grew up in. I guess I miss the picnics. I hope I could be a good substitute. Why don't you ask some of your other friends out? The wind rustles through the grass. I guess maybe I wanted some one-on-one time with you. We do live on a farm together. Yes, with all the animals. I meant away from all the work. I work my way through my pita wrap as she leans out on the blanket. I know that you live just in the bunkhouse, but I feel like maybe I don't know you very well. Growing up in Wickdare, I've known everyone my whole life. There's never really been getting to know someone because they've just always been there. Have you never thought about moving out of town? I'm a small town girl. I like routine, the same things every day, the same sights and smells. It's comforting. Don't know how you can stay in one place for so long. Do you think you'll be here long? I don't mind it. It's nice to get away, but I've always found something just happens, and I'll be on my way when it does. Something happens? Like what? She just shrugs and I chew on the pita bread. You're very big. Has anyone ever told you that? She laughs at that. You'd be the first. We sit and enjoy lunch together. My eyes find one of the ducks swimming around, her little ducklings following eagerly around the lake. Shauna gets to her feet and wanders over to the shore. Kicking her shoes off, I blink as I realize what she's up to. Don't you know you're supposed to wait 30 minutes after eating to go for a swim? She grins, hiking her pant legs up and wading around. Just cooling off. I shake my head with a laugh as I head over there, joining her in the water. She offers me a hand. The water is cool and refreshing against my skin on a hot summer's day. I hold on tight, falling against her for a moment as she steadies me. She grins, brushing my hair from my face. I feel a little giddy flutter in my chest as we splash around together, not minding the mud. In the early hours of the day, the chickens cluck around my ankles, gobbling up the sprinkle of feed I leave for them. I swing the gate behind me, dusting off my hands on my apron. I glance across the way and see Shauna sitting on the porch swing, the morning breeze tousling her hair. Her eyes look up to mine, up from the pages of a well-worn book. Good morning. I take a seat next to her. Enjoying the book? She flips it to show me the front cover. From the book club. I thought I'd give it a shot. I haven't had time to read in a while. Maybe we could share this one. She marks her place with the cloth mark and produces a second one, which she tucks into the front cover. She presses it into my hands. I'd like to know your thoughts on it. I'm not very well versed in literature. I don't know how well articulated my thoughts will be. I don't mind. I'd like to hear them anyway. They don't have to be well articulated. You don't have to do things perfectly. I hold the book to my chest. Do you want breakfast? She grins and we head inside together. I keep the book on my nightstand, working my way through it in the evenings and dropping it off to her in the next morning. We chat about the latest chapter and the characters and where we think they'll go next over a cup of tea. It soon becomes my favorite part of the day. It's drizzling out, the sky gloomy one evening. I'm curled up on the sofa with my cross-stitch project in hand, working away at carefully threading my pattern of blueberries. Shauna props open the door and pours out the bucket of rainwater that was accumulated from the hole in the roof in the attic. Fixed. Thank you. I've been meaning to patch it up for weeks, but I only ever remember when it's raining. She gives a weak chuckle and rubs the back of her neck, looking stiff and sore. Now I'm looking at her. She's looking a little worse for wear. Feeling all right? Tired, that's all. Take a load off. Have a seat. She sinks into the armchair, massaging her temples. She glances out the window where the dark clouds have gathered in the sky. I see her shiver. I work idly on the stitching. I can't believe it's already been a month since she showed up. It's crazy how time flies. Summer will be over before we even know it. I laugh, but she doesn't join in. The fair usually marks the end of summer. It's only a couple of months away now. It's always been a send-off to the season, and can we sit in silence for a little bit? Her eyes are closed, a hand bracketing her forehead as she slumps over in the chair. I know what's wrong. Are you sure you're just tired? Are you feeling well? She waves me off. I'm fine, okay? I sit in awkward silence, feeling a rise of discomfort in my throat as I focus on my embroidery. The steady patter of rain on the roof and the tick of the clock are the only things that break the silence. Ernie bends over, snitching the air. He lets out a whine and runs upstairs. I frown, getting to my feet to try and see what spooked him. I head to the kitchen, pulling out a pot. The dishes clatter together, and I wince at the sound as I see her clutch her head. I have pain relievers in the medicine cabinet if you need them. I risk breaking the silence to make the offer. She shakes her head. It's really nothing. Don't worry yourself. You haven't eaten all day, right? I can make my mom's dal palak and rice that will cure whatever ails you. Just forget it. She gets to her feet, shoulders hunched. One hand digs into the back fabric of the chair, knuckles bleeding white. She won't look at me and heads out the door. Please don't ask anything of me for the rest of the night. I'll see you in the morning. She leaves without another word. I peer out the curtain and watch her head to the bunkhouse. She slams the door behind her. I feel a strange sort of knot in my stomach as I stand with the empty pot. As fast as this month has blown by, it strikes me then that I really don't know Shauna very well at all, do I? If she doesn't trust me enough to confide in whatever is wrong, or allow me to help alleviate it. She's been so sweet, but still a mystery. I have to remind myself that she's ultimately just a farmhand and not required to be my friend. I go to bed with a lonely feeling in my chest that night. As I fall asleep, I watch out my window, a little sliver of the curtain pulled aside. The raindrops cling to the glass, but the sky is clear just enough to show the full moon overhead. The full moon! I take an early morning car ride into town the next day. It's a foggy morning, and I need to pick up groceries. I know that they deliver, but I want to grab the best before it's all picked over. As I get out of my car, I see a familiar face outside the local pub, red-faced and exhausted and hungover out of his mind. A bender on a weekday? Not had any fucking work for months. Wonder why. Your brother coming around at any time? It was always a good time. When he was 19. This is getting a little old. So are you. Fuck off. But he says there was no bite, just light a cigarette. He offers one to me, but I shake my head. Jude just shrugs. Points with the end of it northwards. Should have been out here last night. Mr. Bainbridge gets into the Hound pub, pale as a sheet. He was shouting about wolves near the ruins, right out by his fishing spot, yeah? I hold up my hand for him to stop and scoff. There aren't any wolves around here. I don't think there are wolves, period. I'll march down to the library right now and find a book that proves it. He heard them howling. Yeah, that was probably you and your mates, and you can't even remember. I'm just telling you what happened. I wave him off and continue on my errands, trying to just forget about whatever he's rambling about. I stop in the grocery store, balancing a brown paper bag on my hip as I walk out with fresh vegetables that don't grow on the farm, and paper-wrapped meat I'll need to get into the freezer back home. Unfortunately, my task of getting it home is interrupted. Oh, Mavis, just who I was hoping to run into. Morning, Miss Constance. I've not got the eggs on me. Oh, I'd appreciate that, but it was for something else. I want to invite you around for dinner tonight. I just worry about how lonely you might be now that your parents and brother and Theo are all gone. I shift uncomfortably, transferring the bag to my other hip to hold it. That's very kind of you, but I promise I'm really not lonely. Shauna is good. Pause the words sitting heavy in the air. Well, she's around. Her eyes watch me, clinging onto every word. Yes, but you could use good company. I got my lemon cake going for tonight. I'd love to have you. There's no way out of this. I give her a smile and a nod. And maybe she's right. With Shauna acting as she did last night, maybe it's better for you both to have some space. I wash up and put on my going out clothes rather than my usual farm wear. Shauna hasn't been seen inside the farmhouse all day, and I don't go and look for her. Maybe I'm just growing too close and seeing things that aren't there with her. I head across the street to Constance's house and knock. I barely pull my knuckles away before the door swings open. Aren't you a dear? Look at you. I'm quickly ushered into the house. She presents me to a gangly young man. Doesn't she clean up nice, Ethan? Do you remember Ethan, my nephew? He gives me an awkward wave, and I nod in reply. Constance directs me to sit down on a perfume-scented couch. I sink into the pleather seat. The lemon cake is sitting out on the coffee table between me and Ethan. I fold my hands in my lap, and Constance dusts off her hands. Let me know if you'd like anything to drink. I'll just be upstairs with Lizzie. Poor thing is in a state. She was frightened all last night. The foxes were making such a horrible sound. I don't know they could howl like that. Wait, you're not joining us? I've already eaten dinner. I eat early. You two have fun. She's matchmaking. And with that, she vanishes up the stairs. I slowly turn to look at Ethan, who scratches the back of his neck. Sorry, she's been on about me getting a girlfriend. She says I'm too old not to have one, and, I hold up a hand, stopping him in his tracks. This is supposed to be a date? He pales. She didn't tell you? I was just invited over for dinner, not a date. I'm sorry, I'm really not interested in... Constance pokes her head in from around the corner, startling me so bad I rattled the coffee table. She's been listening the whole time. I'm sorry, dear. I thought it was obvious with you being single and Ethan being single. I thought it was a nice pairing. Won't you give it a chance? There aren't many prospects in a town like Wickdare, especially with each passing year. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, don't give me that. I don't mean to offend. I just owe your mother a favor, and I thought getting her girl set up with a nice lad so you could have a secure future would be wonderful. He's studying, what is it you're studying again? He's becoming a scientist. I'm studying computer science. I just thought it'd be a good match, that's all. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate the thought. On the one hand, don't want to be rude. On the other, not interested. It's not gonna happen. But I should probably be going. I really meant when I said I wasn't interested. I wouldn't want to waste your time. Not even for dinner? Please, I'll join you. That's alright, thank you though. I make to leave, but I see her frown, arms crossed. I give her a nod and make my way out as quickly as I can. Walking back across the field to my farm, I feel an odd heaviness in my chest. I know that Ethan isn't right for me, but it starts to make me wonder about what my future really looks like. I always thought things would be different. I thought things would be easier. I thought I would be married by now. With a sigh, I open up the door, always unlocked as there's no point in doing so around here, and flop down at the table. There's a rap on the kitchen door that startles me, and Shauna pushes her way inside. Hey! Her eyes dart down, noticing me in my nice outfit. You look beautiful. What was the occasion? A date? She blinks, face falling. Oh, how did that go? I just laugh. I didn't even know it was supposed to be one until I got there. He's just not for me. She nods and reveals what she's been hiding behind her back. A beautiful bouquet of brightly colored wildflowers. I noticed the ones I got you before are starting to wilt, and I wanted to apologize for last night. I didn't mean to act so short with you. I wasn't in a good place, but I should have taken it out on you. I'm sorry. I take the bouquet. It smells fragrant and sweet. Thank you. They're beautiful, and thank you for the apology. You didn't really need to. I didn't feel very good about it this morning. Are you feeling any better? I look her over. She has dark circles beneath her eyes, looking haggard as the day I met her. You don't look so good. She smiles sadly. I'll be just fine. Promise. No need to fuss. Maybe I like fussing over you. That brings out a real smile. Well, I feel very lucky then. She leans against the counter. Eaten yet? Not yet. I left the date before we ate. And it didn't go very well? I shrug. I just didn't feel it with him. The spark people talk about. The spark? You know, in books they talk about that spark of attraction. I never had that with my old boyfriend. We were just comfortable, familiar, safe, until we weren't. Now we're just strangers. If you haven't felt it before, how will you know if you find it? I think I'll just know, but it's not with him. Has it only been hymns? What do you mean, only men? She nods. That you ever tried to find a spark with? Maybe I've been looking in the wrong places this whole time. I shrugged, feeling a wave of emotion come over me all at once. Maybe I've been wrong. It comes out suddenly like a weight lifting off my shoulder. Maybe I wanted to be what I thought everyone was like, what my parents were like, what my brother is like, married to a husband, have his children. But maybe that's just their dream for me, and not really my heart. I think I would not like to be with him ever again. She gives me a soft look. You should follow your own heart, and no one else's. I plan on it. She looks like she's struggling to hold back a smile. I can't help but laugh. What? Nothing. Just nice to hear sometimes. She drums on the counter with her fingers. How about I make dinner tonight? You don't have to. You don't have to do anything other than the farm chores you're paying me for, but I like doing them anyway. Now sit back. You're all dressed up. Don't want to get it dirty. I laugh and find myself enjoying a much nicer evening with Shauna. Okay, I need to take a quick break, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Just bio break. The next few days, I feel content to let Shauna work away at maintaining the farm while I bake. At first, I felt a little guilty at not working, but I remind myself that's why I needed a farmhand to begin with. I practice my pastry making skills, still unhappy with how my last batch turned out. It takes a few days of resting and chilling it to build up the flaky layers, but it turns out wonderfully. In the meantime, I work on making mini tart shells to practice for my pie, using various fillings to experiment with flavors. Finally, I decide to give my blueberry recipe a try. It's a warm, sunny day, and I open all the windows to let in the fresh air. I use blueberries picked fresh from my garden, and I get it in the oven while I sit and work on my cross stitch. When it's finally done, I invite Shauna in. She washes up, having spent the morning weeding the garden. This is the recipe? Like that I always submit to the summer fair pie contest. She takes a seat and I watch carefully and she takes a bite. She cups a hand beneath her chin as the filling spills out. That's very good. You hesitated. I'm just trying to find the right words. What's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it. It's delicious. But it's very good, not excellent. I'm not a judge. But you're my taste tester. I need to know. I won't be upset. I really want to win this year. She scratches her chin. It's a little... Yes? She winces. Boring? Boring? It is delicious. It's very rustic and homemade and comforting. But blueberries don't have a very strong flavor. It just feels like it's missing some special zing that might push you to victory. That's actually something that's come up on the Great British Baking Show when people use blueberries. Especially when they don't have anything else with it. It's hard to get the blueberry flavor to come through. She holds up her hands in surrender. But it's an excellent bake. I sit back in the chair, worrying my lip between my teeth. Finally, I have a piece myself and think it over. Oh my god, you're right. It is a little boring. Well, now you can modify it before the competition. That's my grandmother's recipe. I don't want to change it. I think Gray was very inspired by the Great British Baking Show and wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. You can make your own recipe now, using it as a base and maybe adding something new. I try another piece. I have to think about it. Experiment. I'm not going to turn down any more pie. Well, thank you for being honest. I always feed it to my friends so they rave about it, but never tell me anything substantial. I'd rather hear the truth. She has a funny look on her face for a moment before managing a smile. I wonder why. Of course. I take a little note card and begin to jot down ideas on how to change up the recipe. You don't think it might be disrespectful to my grandma to change her recipe? I don't think so. She provides base, but you can build on it now. Smile at the thought as she reaches for another slice. One evening after dinner, I sit next to her on the couch, a pair of knitting needles in hand. Why are my needles so much bigger than yours? I laugh. Because you're a beginner. It's easier to learn, especially with thicker yarn. I make the slip knot for her, attach it to the needle, and hand it back. Thread the needle like this. Watch me. I loop the yarn around the needle and pull. She clumsily copies the motion, brow furrowing. I repeat the motion slower to show her. When she finally gets it, she smiles brightly. Like that? Just like that. I'm going to do that 10 more times. She's taken to knitting, and it quickly becomes an evening activity for the two of us. I realize then how nice it is to just have someone around to do things with. It's near the crack of dawn when I take the truck into town. Stifling a yawn into my shoulder, I carry a crate of fresh eggs and milk across the road to where a young man is waiting. I've expanded my deliveries a little more, meeting with him so he can take them into other neighboring towns. The only problem is that with so many stops, he wants me up even earlier than the crow of the rooster. The cafe is open and I seek refuge inside after heading off the delivery and pocketing the bills. Blinking hard, I order my usual and nurse it off to the side. The owner of the cafe glances up after wiping the counter. Good morning, Miss Mavis. You're out bright and early. Doing a delivery. And still none for me. I let out a sigh. I'm sorry, it just slipped my mind. Rumor has it one of them fancy chain coffee shops from the city is opening here. I don't know what I'll do with the competition. I won't worry. Everyone will still come here. It might if it were your baked goods that we're selling. Space Coins doesn't have anything on that. Space Coins as opposed to Starbucks? I don't think that's what the coffee shop is called. Well, it doesn't belong around here. The bell dings as someone comes in. It's Karishma, and she gets her morning coffee. She brightens when she sees me. Well, long time no see. We've got another book club meeting on Wednesday night. We'll be there. Ooh, we now? She takes a seat across from me. Not you and Ethan, I take it. What? I heard through the grapevine that apparently you broke his heart. What? All the old ladies were talking about, youth today and their disrespect of neighborly hospitality. Did you really reject Constance's lemon cake? She set me up on a date I didn't want to be on, so I removed myself from the situation. It's not a big deal. You're practically the talk of the town. I groaned. I don't like Ethan. Why would I have to pretend that I do and suffer through an awkward date? She hums, taking a sip and watching me. So you and Shauna then? What about us? Nothing, just using a lot of interesting pronoun usage. We, us. Well, when you live with someone, it becomes a habit. She likes the book club. You should be happy about that. But are you happy? We're not together if that's what you're driving at. But do you want to be? You know I support you no matter what. I sigh. I enjoy her company. It's just easy. I just want something easy. Is love ever easy? I never said I loved her. I noticed that the cafe owner is pretending not to eavesdrop. She makes life easier and better, but I think love is when you can't live without the person. And I lived on my own for a long time. I wouldn't be broken if she left, not like with Theo. I'm better than that now. I just enjoy her. She gives me a look. We haven't even kissed or anything. You haven't? I don't even know if she wants to kiss me. Have you asked her? How would that even work? Oh, thank you for milking the cow. Want to make out? She snorts. Might work. I sigh and finish off my drink. Real romantic you are. If it's all that romance that you refuse to read, I think a snog would be good for you personally. I hit her with my napkin as I pass by. I'll see you at book club. Don't be late. It rains all that evening. I get the fireplace lit. Shauna is taking shelter inside after we made sure all the animals were sheltered from the weather. A tray of freshly baked cookies sits out along with 2 cups of tea. I'm helping her knit again, and we've got a couple inches of a scarf beginning to form. Over and under. Yeah, you've got the rhythm. I cram another cookie in my mouth. I'm exhausted from getting up so early, and the warm tea and cookies, the sound of the patter of rain on the roof, and the clack of knitting needles are putting me right to sleep. I yawn, barely able to cover it. Shauna smiles, glancing over from where she sits beside me. Tired? Oh, yeah. I fight to keep my eyes open. I wish I was Maple and could curl up on a rug in front of the fireplace and sleep. She chuckles at the sleepy statement. You're adorable. Steady rhythm of the needles and the warmth from the fire lulls me to sleep. My head hits her shoulder, and in my half-asleep state, I feel her adjust to accommodate me. The next thing I remember is a pair of strong arms beneath me, carrying me to bed. In that moment, I feel like I did when I was little, being carried in for the car after falling asleep in a late-night ride, feeling safe and warm in the arms of someone who cares. Oh, my heart. When I wake the next morning, I feel refreshed and well-rested. I barely remember the night before, so being woken to being tucked into bed with a glass of water beside me is a little surprising. I drink the water gladly and find my slippers to shuffle into the bathroom to brush my teeth. When I make it downstairs, I hear the scrape of a spatula against the frying pan. Good morning. Did you sleep well? I take a seat at the table watching her. She busies herself in the kitchen, preparing 2 plates. I thought I'd make you breakfast. It's a breakfast scramble. Pretty simple. I used to make it for myself all the time. You were so tired last night, it's the least I could do. She places it down in front of me, tossing a tea towel over her shoulder. I stare at her a moment. I want you to kiss me. She blinks, a little startled. She lets out a quiet laugh. Really? My voice cracks a little when I reply. Yes, I can't even get the words out when she springs forward eagerly, taking my face in both hands. Our lips meet each other, and it's warm and welcoming and lovely all at once. She smells woodsy, like firewood. When she finally pulls back, I miss her already. Aww! So cute! Was that good? I laugh, and then we're both laughing at the silliness of kissing over breakfast in our pajamas. It was really nice. My lips still tingle from the kiss, and I touch them with my fingers with a smile. Krishna was right. About what? All I had to do was ask you. She leans in, pressing a kiss to my forehead. Breakfast's going cold. She sits across from me, and it's the best tasting meal I've had in a while, because it was made by someone who cares. Life settles into a relaxed rhythm. In a lot of ways, everything just stays exactly the same. She works at the farm, sometimes I join her, I feed the chickens and the cow, and feel relieved to not have to do the dirtiest parts of farm work anymore. It never seems to faze her. But now when I look out the window at her and she glances back with a shiny smile crinkling around the eyes. At night when I head up to bed, she presses a kiss to my forehead to wish me good night. We're comfortable. It's easy. Krishna is wrong about that part. Why shouldn't things be easy? Because the hard part's coming up. One night I drive us into town. It's a warm summer night and half the town gathers at the Hound for live music. You won't mind with all of the people there? Hardly. I've only got eyes for one person after all. Anyone else might not exist. I laughed, nudging her. Good way to run into people by accident. Slam the car door shut and lock it with a beep. Lift there is perfectly safe, but people do stupid things while drunk. I'm not having any idiots go for a joyride in my truck today. I can already hear the band up and going, and familiar faces from all over town are milling around the seating area outside. At the door, one of the workers holds up a hand. ID, please. Charlie, we went to school together. You know how old I am. Not you, her. Gestures to Shauna, who pales. Well, funny thing about that. Do you not have ID? She shrugs. It's not like I drove here. Alright, then use your eyes, Charlie. Does she look like she's under 18? That's not really policy. Boss been on my ass about it. Thinks for a moment. Quick, what year were you born? 74. Fair enough. Might want to get Mavis to order the drinks, so bartender will hassle you about it. She always says to the strangers. She's not even a stranger anymore. She's been here almost 2 months. The rest of us have been here 2 decades, Mavis. But he lets us in anyway. That's fair. I glance over to her. I didn't know you were 29, unless we haven't hit your birthday yet. When is your birthday anyway? Are you also a bouncer? I laugh, shaking my head. Just curious. I'll have to make you a gift and everything. She scratches her chin. I haven't celebrated in a long time, but the 7th of May. I have lots of time to prepare for next year then. It strikes me in a funny sort of way that I didn't know before. I kissed someone. I didn't even know her birthday. Unheard of in a wick there. Shake off the thought. We've only known each other a little while. It's alright to still be getting to know each other. Let's go and grab a drink. Do you want anything? Just a beer. I'll pay you back. It's a pint. I've got it. Save your cash. I head over to the bartender and place the order. I'll get a beer and... Whoops. This one. Wine. House wine, please. The bartender nods and I soon return with our drinks. She swings her arm around my waist and pulls me in as I smile and lean against her as we watch the band get set up. Oi, Mavis, is that you? Actually out of the pub? He whistles from where he sits, spinning on his stool. And with your lassie, rumors are true then, looking mighty fine for a rebound. She's not a rebound, that's inappropriate, Jude. We can't rebound after 10 months. Rebound is a state of mind, not a unit of measurement. Wrong button. Shauna steps between us. Mavis can do whatever she wants to do. It's really not your place to comment on. I place a hand on her shoulder quickly. No, it's fine. He's one of my little brother's friends. I've known him since he was in diapers. We're just like this. Oh. She gives him an awkward nod, stepping back. Jude just snorts. You got a trained guard dog as a girlfriend? Farm girl through and through, you are. Couldn't find a broad in town to shag instead? Fuck off. He grins, dimples showing. I will. One thing though, I've got a point to settle. Oi, Mr. Bainbridge. He snaps his fingers and the elderly Mr. Bainbridge shuffles up. Tell Mavis about the wolves again. Phil Shauna sitting beside me. What? This was a week or so ago. Was out fishing late at night, but that's when you can get some bites if you have the flashlight out and going, my old pa used to tell me. To the point, Mr. Bainbridge? Ah, yes, out fishing late and I hear it. It was raining and sometimes my hearing is going, but I heard it clear as day, howling, just like you'd see at the cinema. Probably a group of kids played a joke. Oh no, but I saw it. Big beastie run around on all fours, shaggy coat. It's a big fox. Felt the fear of God in me, and oh, I ran. Haven't ran that fast in a great many years, I'll tell you. Struck me right to the bone, that howl did. Something's out there. That's a very good ghost story, Mr. Bainbridge. Not a ghost, I'm telling you, they've brought the wolves back. Well, it's not eating any of my chickens, and if it does, we'll have real trouble. Until then, I think you ought not to fish in the dark anymore, Mr. Bainbridge. Mine plays tricks on you out there by the ruins. I just sigh and shake my head and lead Shauna away by the hand to get closer to the van. Hi, Gray! We discard our empty glasses on the bar as the band strikes up. She winds her arms around my back as we sway together in a dance. Sorry, I don't blame you for not going out very often. The townsfolk can be a lot. I know you're not used to them, and they're not used to you. They will be, though. One day. She smiles, but it doesn't quite reach her eyes. Maybe. The band plays a love song as we dance. I can see a few people whispering while glancing at us, but I don't care. They can gossip. I have nothing to hide. Do you want to get some fresh air? I nod, and she leads me out to the courtyard just outside the pub. Taking the night air, filling my lungs. The moon hangs in a crescent above us. You all right? You've been quiet. Just fine. I look at her a little doubtfully, but she steps forward, her fingers brushing against the nape of my neck. Can I kiss you? She still asks for permission every time. I smile and nod. Her warm against my lips. It starts off slow before she begins to work her mouth against mine, growing hungrier, needier. Hands bracket my waist, holding me firm in place as she kisses me like a woman starved. Aww. It's all I think about doing sometimes. I don't want to do it in front of all those people. They don't get to see you like I do. She works her mouth against my jaw, up to my ear, then down the column of my throat. She buries her face in my shoulder and takes a deep breath in, like she's trying to get drunk off my scent alone. You smell amazing. It's the only thing I can focus on in the crowd. That vanilla. Her mouth works against my neck in a way I've never felt before. I feel like I'm going to melt on the spot. I manage a weak laugh. You sound like you want to eat me. Maybe I do. She presses her lips against mine again, kissing me until I see stars. We barely manage to sneak away back to our vehicle. One afternoon, after I finish washing up the dishes from lunch, Shauna comes inside, slipping off her shoes. On the counter, the newest wildflowers she brought me are blooming. Is now a good time? For what? She pulls out what she's brought over, the scarf we've been working on as her knitting project. I want you to have it for when it gets cold. Some of the stitches are a little snagged here and there, but I take it, draping it around my shoulders. It's perfect, thank you. She grins, kissing me sweetly before returning to her front chores. I wrap the scarf around myself. It smells of her, that earthy, woodsy scent. It's unbelievably comforting, and an idea forms in my head. A week later, I finish my secret project. When she's sitting downstairs working through the notebook we're reading together, I present it. I made this for you. Her eyes widen, quickly put a bookmark in her place and getting to her feet. For me? Not for anyone else. I hold it out. It's a blanket, fairly simply made, but cozy. It's blue. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's the stuff I had on hand. It's perfect. She mirrors my own words and gathers it up to hold it. My face flushes. Well, it's sort of a tradition around here, too, in Wickdare, dating back to, oh God, I don't know how long. But something you give the person you intend to, or, well, I guess you could say it's like a courtship gift. The truth is that you give it to the person you intend to marry, and it goes over your shared bed, but I don't say that for fear of scaring her off. Something that will keep you warm. It's like a promise to take care of you. You gave me that scarf, and I just thought I wanted to do something in return. She holds it in hand, looking a little watery around the eyes. Are you crying? She sips and wipes her eyes with her shoulder. No, but she doesn't really look happy. She looks sad, guilty. My brow furrows. Is it all right? It's amazing. You're amazing. She manages a wobbly smile and pulls me in, draping the blanket around both of us. Well, no one's done things like this for me before. I'm grateful. She hovers for a moment, looking like she's on the verge of saying something. What? What? Well, I thought you were going to say something. You look like you wanted to tell me something. No, just this. She smiles quickly and presses a kiss to my forehead. I hug her and try to ignore the funny little feeling in my stomach that's telling me something's off. A few nights later, we go on a late-night drive. I roll the truck along the dirt road, parking off in the grass. This was my favorite spot to go as a kid. Come on! Leading Shauna by the hand, I take her across the field. My family and I would drive out here and watch the stars. One time we watched a meteor shower. It was beautiful. She just smiles, listening contentedly as we reach our destination. A warm summer breeze blows through as I climb a rocky hill. It's an old fort ruin weathered by time. I place my hands on the stones, looking out at the lake nearby. My brother David and I would always play out here. We'd take our bikes and spend hours in the ruins. Mom always thought it was dangerous, but it never stopped us. What was this place? Military fort, probably. Lots of those are dotted around here. Most of them are out by the coast, not this far inland. Push myself up on the crumbling ruin to get a better vantage point of the stars. Shauna is quick to follow. You get such a clear view of the stars here. I point up. There's the Little Dipper, see? She stands behind me, hands on my waist to steady herself, and her head rests on my shoulder. I see it. It's cute. I can always see it this time of year. I wanted to show you. Place a hand on her for a moment. So much of my life that I wish you were a part of. I've known everyone here as long as I've lived, and so many memories I wish I could give to you, but we can make some new ones. We already have. She strokes her thumb against the back of my hand in a soothing gesture. Of course. Just want to thank you. You're so comfortable. Comfortable? Am I a cushion? I laugh. You could be one. But no, I mean, it's just easy with you. Even though I've known you for coming up on 2 months, sometimes it feels like you should have always been there. Finally feeling that spark you've been missing? Strikes me then like the wind knocked out of me, but no, not really. I know I like her. I know I like kissing her. But in a lot of ways, I've not yet felt that magical moment in all the books and movies where the whole world stops and everything is alight. I laugh nervously. I don't think that's real anyway. Her face is unreadable for a moment, and I'm quick to add, but I do like you a lot. I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's just nice, simple. After Theo, I was so afraid to love again. I just need the right time and the right person to open my heart again. That's why I want to thank you. Her eyes widen. Love? My stomach does a funny flip. What would you call it? We're living together, we're kissing, we make each other things, we're in the person the other comes home to. Is it too early? No, it's not that. I like you. I really like you. And pretty much since the day I met you, it's just what? You always do this, like you want to say something, but you never do. That's why I wish I could have known you forever. There wouldn't be any words unsaid. We have known each other in every moment. I'm sorry. She takes my hands. I've not had anyone around all that time. All the people you've known all your life, I know people for maybe 6 months before going again. You're not going to do that here, are you? I guess we haven't talked about it. I'd like to stay, if you'd have me. Of course I would. I'm sorry. I guess there will always be parts of ourselves that only exist in memories that the other wasn't there for. Is it such a terrible thing to get to know someone at your own pace? I suppose not. She looks at me with such tenderness, like I hung the moon itself. She squeezes her eyes shut. There are pieces of me that I can't have you there. And I'm scared that won't be enough for you. That you want all of me, and I don't think I can give you that. What are you talking about? It's not... She looks panicked for a moment. I want you, Mavis. I think about you in the morning and before bed. There are just parts of me that I don't think you can love, and I don't want you to put yourself through that. You're not even giving me a chance to try. She leans in, her forehead against my shoulder as our hands entangle. I'm just scared. Of what? Losing you. You won't. I rub her back, confused and worried, but trying not to show it. It's all right. You don't have to say it back yet. She looks pained for a moment, but nods. It's a quiet ride back home. The next day, Shauna avoids me. She doesn't even come out and work. It seems like she's in her cabin all day. I knock and offer her lunch, but she complains of a headache. I offer painkillers and am again turned away. I wonder why. Will this just happen? Some days we're fine, and every so often she pulls away. The conversation the night before plays over and over in my head as I cross-stitch, even as I try to focus on anything else. But it eats away at me. I think back to those final weeks with Theo, how he began to pull away. His laughter came less than none at all. He would never come to bed, never answer questions about the future. Is it unfair of me to place all of those expectations on Shauna? What are we? Am I her girlfriend? I go to bed early but struggle to fall asleep. Tossing and turning, head too full of thoughts, I finally click on my lamp when I hear noise outside. Frowning, I put on my slippers and head out. Maybe I just need to talk to Shauna, clear things up. I need to ask what we are, what she wants. Just get everything out and see if we're on the same page. I flick on the porch light outside, though I hardly need it with the full moon overhead illuminating the farm. There's a crashing sound that draws my attention as I jog forward. There's a distinct shatter of glass, and I reach the door. I've tried the lock, barred tight. Shauna, are you okay? I heard glass shatter. Are you bleeding? There's a grunt as my only reply. You've locked the door. I think I have a spare key. Hold on. I head to the shed and finish out my dad's old ring of keys, fumbling for the right one. More noises make me jump. You and Kay in there? What's going on? There's a pained whine as I reach for the lock. Did an animal get in? I feel a flutter of fear all of a sudden that I don't understand. Shauna, I'm coming in. I unlock the door and push it open with a creak. Oh, wow. That is cool. What I see stops me in my tracks. The bunkhouse is in tatters, sharp claw marks dragging down the walls along the furniture. A vase of flowers sits scattered on the floor in shards, water pooling on the floor. The pillows have been torn to shreds, the stuffing floating around the air. But what strikes me to the floor in fear are two glowing eyes peering back at me in the darkness. Heavy breathing, a growl emitting low. A massive hulking beast, larger than I could think of wolves as being, stands on its hind legs, sharp, deadly claws at its side. With trembling hands, I back up and shut the door quickly, fumbling with the lock to get it closed, but it's too late. The scrape of claws against the floor rings through the air before the creature barrels towards me. I let out a shriek. The door bursts off its hinges and the monster lands on top of me. As it growls, its sharp fangs gnash just over my head and pinned to the ground with its hulking furred arms on either side of me. It's there. When I look into its eyes, there's a flash of familiarity, some sort of recognition in that moment. Shauna? It tips its head back and lets out a mournful howl that rings out across the countryside. In a flash, it bounds off, leaving me on the farm. I scramble to my feet, dash inside, and slamming the door and locking it. Put a chair against the door and run up the stairs to barricade myself in my room. Peering out the window through the darkness, I see a large shape running over the fields. My heart pounds in my chest as I bury myself under the covers, shaking with adrenaline and fear. I sit for a long time, trying to understand what I saw. It doesn't feel real. I hope that I will wake up and it's just been a nightmare. It's dawn. I've spent the whole night staring at the door. I'm shaky, bleary-eyed, and exhausted. There's a knock on the door that makes me jump. I walk carefully down the stairs, peering around the side. I see Shauna's body in the window, not the wolf. Mavis, please let me in. I need to talk to you. I go shakily to the door, opening it just a crack. I stare at her for a long moment. She looks worse for wear, the worst I've seen her. Heavy eye bags, looking weary and exhausted. She's got a smudge of dirt along her chin, and her clothes are torn at the seams. Oh boy. Do we want to freak out, or do we want to remain calm? Let's get the freak out. Was that you? She swallows thickly. You were never meant to see. I'm so sorry. I can barely control myself in that state. My memory gets foggy. Only you say my name was enough to break through the fog. Are you hurt? I shake my head. She shuts her eyes in relief. Thank God. I would never forgive myself. Have you hurt people before? Never on purpose. So you have. I do everything I can to separate myself from others, to make sure they don't get hurt. So I've always been on the move. I can't risk people finding out. I can't risk anyone getting hurt by accident. I'm so sorry, Mavis. I've never told anyone before. I was so scared. Hang on. Gotta put my mod hat on here. No, I don't want to respond. How do I get rid of this? Come on. I don't want to reply. I want to get rid of it. Change how they do things. Come on, how do I get rid of you? There we go. You're a monster. She catches her breath like I've knocked the wind out of her completely. Her voice comes out weak. Yes. I can't accept this. Whatever this is. Oh, this is not what I wanted. I shake my head back and forth, voice cracking. Just go. She looks at me with wide, pleading eyes. I can't bear to look at her. Mavis. I don't even know who you are. Well, a weak, bitter laugh, gripping the door frame. Don't ever want to see you around here again. You hear me? She flinches back, head down. I hear you. I understand. Lets out a shaky breath, tears forming as she turns away. All the time we shared, I don't regret a second of it. I was so scared that this day would come. Just know I'm sorry. I don't reply and watch until she's out on the road. I drop down to the floor, tears welling in my eyes as I begin to cry into my knees. All the fear, confusion, and frustration boil over into a mess of tears. It's only after I come out for air that the emptiness of the house hits me. Part of me wants to run after her, to say I'm sorry, that I wanted to come back, but I don't. I've been so scared of running into yet another heartbreak, and here I am, crying over a lost love. Am I cursed? All I wanted was not to be hurt again, and it feels like my heart is torn in two. Ernie comes up to me, licking my face and flopping beside me as I lie there for a good long while. So life returns to the way it was before. Get up early to feed the chickens and take care of Bernice. I spent all morning watering and tending to the garden. I'm exhausted by the afternoon and barely managed to make a veggie wrap before taking a midday nap on the couch with Maple. One of the light bulbs goes out in the hallway, and I have to get the stepladder out and fiddle with it to change it out. It's just like it was before. I handled it once, I can handle it again. I don't have time to practice my baking, but I squeeze in a few nights a week. The country fair is in less than a month. Tried the blueberry pie again, adding some new things to the recipe. Tried to add some more savory flavors to the pie, like black pepper or a splash of balsamic, but it turns out horrible, and I scrapped the whole thing. I try and add super sweet vanilla and cream, but it's cloying and overtly sweet. Can't find the right balance, and I'm putting off working on it further. Maybe I'm just not destined to win the fair. Maybe I'm just someone who doesn't succeed. I'm reminded of this during my next phone call with Mum. And she's due in the final weeks. Uh-huh. I think they know it'll be a boy or a girl, but they're not telling me. Right. The baby shower was lovely. I so wish we had made the drive out. I'm just really busy out here. I heard from Constance. You fired your farmhand? Well, just let Dad pick someone next time you need the extra help, okay? Okay. Will you be up here for the birth? I don't think so. I won't want to intrude. Your family. I know. Did I tell you David got a massive raise at work? They know that with him starting a family, he'll be a good company man. He needs a nice, stable income. He spent such long hours. I'm planning on moving in with them to help her out with the first year. Oh, I miss when the two of you were kids. I sigh and lean against the wall. If I had a baby, would you move back here with me? That stops her in her tracks. What's that supposed to mean? Do you have something to tell me? No, I'm not pregnant. Just remember not to step on their special moment, okay? Of course, that's not... Do you want us to move back? No, just thinking out loud. I know we're all grown, but sometimes it feels like David's the only child of yours on your mind. When we talk, it's all about him. You don't ask how I am. Honey, don't say things like that. I was always there for you. When you broke up with Theo, we called every night for a week. Are you coming to the country fair? I'm submitting Grandma's recipes. Oh, again? I suck on my lip. Changing it up, though. Just don't know how yet. With the baby so close on the way... No, I understand. Forget I said anything at all. Give David and his wife my love. And Dad. And Dad. It's because you can do it on your own. What? I remember when you were 12 and he was going on 9, you went out to the old ruins. Now I hated that you went out there. I always thought someone would get hurt. David fell and skinned his knee so badly, he was bleeding everywhere. And crying so loud it scared Mr. Bainbridge's fish away for a week. I sigh at the memory. But you were at his side and calmed him down and cleaned it up with a napkin in your dress pocket, cool as anything. You got him back in the wagon and took him back inside and read him a bedtime story. He didn't even think about the pain then. David needs extra help. He always has, Mavis. He's on my mind because he's the one I worry about. I don't worry about you. I always know you'll be just fine, that no matter what, you'll figure it out. What if I don't know what to do? Then I'm only a phone call away. Might not be there to fix the skid on your knee, but I can be there to remind you you've got hydrogen peroxide in the medicine cabinet upstairs. I love you, Mom. I love you more, honey. You go get 'em at the fair. When do you mean just as I'm finishing up making dinner, there's a knock on the door. Well, something smells good. I hope you made enough for two. It's my mom's biryani. I always have leftovers. Honor dictates I must tell you that my mom's is better, but I'll take what I can get. I played up for both of us. I really don't want to talk about book club. I've given up on you. Until we read a cookbook, I think you won't be interested. She gives me a long, searching look. So, I heard around town that Shauna is gone. No one has seen her working outside. Didn't refute enough for two, so I figured, yeah. What happened? I asked her to leave. But why? I thought things were going well. It was, until it wasn't. She scoots her chair up closer, leaning her elbows on the table. What happened? I look away. It's hard to explain. I just didn't know her as well as I thought I did, and I don't know. I'm at a loss. I sit in silence and eat a bit more. But I'm doing just fine on my own. Summer is busy anyway. Once winter comes around, I won't need a farmhand, and don't be like that. It's not about the help, it's about the two of you. Did you love her? She never said it back, so does it really matter? Of course it does. I'm just fine on my own. I told you that before. If I really need help, then I could just hire someone to be a farmhand, and you're going in circles. I don't care about the farm. It's got nothing to do with the farm. It's you. You being with someone you love. She's gone, Karishma. She's not coming back. It was that bad? I'm quiet for a moment. We never really got a chance to talk it through. I was wired. I hadn't slept. Maybe it could have gone down differently. But I can't think like that. What's done is done. I let out a sigh. It is about the farm to me. She was there to make life a little easier, a little smoother, a little sunnier. But I'm not crumbling without her. I talked with Mom and she was right. I can handle things on my own. I'm not going to break life with Theo. Life goes on. I can live without her. How's your baking coming along? Blink at the sun, change of topic. Well, not the best. She points at my chest. Because you're sad, and you're being so stubborn about it that you're not even letting yourself be sad. So it all comes out on your baking. I've known you all my life. When that road trip got canceled summer after graduation, you served me the worst cherry tart I had ever had in my life, despite insisting you were totally fine with our plans going down the drain. I give her a dumbfounded look. I thought you liked that tart. It was awful. I said it to make you smile. Okay, maybe I was a little bit sad about the road trip not panning out. I knew it, and you're sad about Shauna. Maybe. She grabs my hand and squeezes it. Of course you can live without her. You can do everything on your own, but my God, Mavis, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to handle everything on your own all the time. And if you love her, you should say it. You had a fight? So what? You think you're the first couple to ever misunderstand each other? Do you want to be with her again? Doesn't matter what Yes, it does. It does to me. And I am asking, do you want to be with her again? I feel like Shauna actually went to Karishma. Yes. Tears spring to my eyes during that admittance, and she's quick to get to her feet and to hug me. I really do, but I think I've lost her forever. No such thing. I don't even know where she is. Then we'll find her. You can at least talk it out and see if she feels the same way. I don't know if she does. You won't know until you ask. I think you're due a conversation. We spend the rest of dinner with tears and laughter and good food, and I feel a stir of hope in my chest. One afternoon, I stopped by the old library and checked out the computer for an hour, carefully pulling each of the thick keys one by one. Werewolf. I navigate to old web pages and some excerpts from books. They are terrifying images of half-wolf, half-man creatures with sharp teeth. Moonlight, transformation, loss of control, silver. There are articles attributing sightings to rabid dogs affected by rabies, but very little real information. There were werewolf trials all around the continent hundreds of years ago. Finally, I find an old reference to the history of werewolves here in Ireland. Stories of kindness, loss, and brutality of ancient wars, just like any man. Stories of them being guardians, protectors, fighting to defend the land. Stories of guiding a lost soul home. I would think it all to be fairy stories, but I saw it with my own eyes. I can't even believe it still. My eyes linger on one illustration, not so different than the beast I saw, and wonder idly how many of our myths and stories may be real. The scarf Shauna made for me sits on the coat rack. One night I pull it off and wrap it around my neck and shoulders, taking in a deep breath. The familiar scent washes over me, and I know I have to go and find her. It's been a couple of weeks since she left, but I don't know how far she's gone. I jump in the truck and begin a search of the surrounding towns, bringing a map to rest on the dashboard and beginning to trace my way along. Ask if anyone knows of Shauna, and mostly all look at her funny looks. Until I reach one town right near sunset, I'll need to stop here and hope they have room at an inn tonight. I don't want to be driving in the dark. Sorry to bother you. I roll down my window, idly near the sidewalk as I catch the attention of an older couple. Have you heard of a Shauna in these parts? Shauna? Don't we know a Shauna here? He snaps his fingers after a moment of thinking. Oh yes, that's Farmer Pruitt's new farmer, isn't it? How do you know her? We're friends. And she didn't tell you where she was? I shrug. Complicated. Sounds like it. Well, you'll find Pruitt Farm just down the way. Take a right at the fork and keep driving till you see the scarecrow, all right? Thank you so much. Have a nice night. You too, dear. I follow her directions and park the truck along the fence and head up the dirt trail on foot. And I see her. She's cleaning up for the day. There's a rusty toolbox at her feet, and I see her tighten something on the field sprinklers. My heart pounds in my chest as I approach. She looks up before I can say anything. I wonder if she knows the sound of my footfall, or my smell, or my heartbeat, if she could recognize me anywhere. She gets to her feet, wiping her hands on her pants, and then running her fingers through her hair. How did you find me? Been driving all day and knew you couldn't have gotten too far. I thought you never wanted to see me again. Quiet for a moment, regret bubbling in my chest. Never thought about our last conversation so many times now. Should never have said those things. You're not a monster. I know that I am. Let me finish. I felt so betrayed not to know. All of the hiding made me frustrated and suspicious, and it reached a boiling point. I'm so sorry. I was scared and I couldn't handle it, so I pushed you away. But I was wrong, and I am sorry for that. Could you ever forgive me? She takes a deep breath. Is the sky pink? I blink in confusion till she gestures up to the sky, the sunset trailing shades of pink along the horizon. That shade I can always see. Second favorite sight in the world. What's your first? I'm looking at her. Ah, I knew she'd say that. I knew it. I feel hot tears rolling down my cheek as I rush into her arms. She smells so comforting, so familiar. Her thumb brushes against me, wiping away the tears. I should be asking you the same thing. Could you ever forgive me for not telling you? I understand now. I didn't before. I didn't even know what you were, really. I still don't. Please tell me the truth. She shuts her eyes. When I was younger, barely grown, I was out late. Her flock had escaped the farm, and I was out rounding her back up. The sun had long gone down, and there was a growling in the distance. I saw it then, the beast, the wolf. I tried to fight it off to protect the sheep. I got the pitchfork right in its chest, and it didn't do a thing, but it left me with a nasty bite. She rolls up her sleeve, and I can see where the scar tissue has grown back, leaving a silvery web in its place along her upper bicep. I trace it with my fingertips, and she shivers. The next full moon, I felt awful all day, headache, cranky, sore all over. That night, I transformed for the first time. There's this feeling in the pit of your stomach. It draws you out into the moonlight, like it's calling you deep inside, and bursts out, that hunger, that anger. Scared the shit out of sheep. They never trusted me again, could smell the wolf on me. I knew I had to get away. My father suspected. He'd always been suspicious of the myths and stories, and he saw it take his own child. Told me to leave, called me a monster, to stay away from the rest of the family, so I left. The rest of my family thinks I've just been traveling and don't want to come home, but I'm not welcome back, not while he's there, not when I'm like this. The rest of it is true. I go from place to place, but I could never stay long. Each time I was at risk of being discovered, they would drive me from the place with torches if they knew what I really was. I wanted to tell you, I came so close. But how do I even begin to explain? You'd have thought I was mad. Maybe I would have believed. Would you? It does sound mad, if I hadn't seen it for myself, which I never wanted to happen. I'm in another state, the wolf has a mind of its own, but when I heard you calling my name, it was like you broke through the moonlight into my heart. It was enough for me to gain control, the most control I've ever had during a transformation. Really? How is that possible? She laughs quietly. Because I love you, Mavis. That instinct is stronger than the wolf's. My breath catches. I thought you didn't. I've loved you nearly since the day I met you. The kindness you've shown me, the sound of your laughter, the care and effort you put into what you do. She cups my face gently. Mavis, you're the love of my life, and I'm sorry I couldn't say it. I was so scared of losing you if you ever found out that I didn't want to hurt either of us. But I know, and I'm here, and I love you. She kisses me. It's like I'm floating on air. I wrap my arms around her, melting completely into the kiss. I feel a flutter in my chest, like every part of me is alight. And as we pull back, I feel it. The spark. That giddy, joyous, dizzying feeling, like all the clouds have parted and the rest of the world melts away, and I only see her place a trembling hand over my mouth. I thought love was something that should be simple, easy, comfortable, and familiar. And it can be, but sometimes it's messy to get to that point. I thought that was wrong, but it's not, because it's worth it. The kitchen becomes a mess whenever I bake, but I clean it up and get the best results. I thought love meant I can't live without the other person, but I can live without you. I did before, and I just did now, but I don't want to. Life is better with you around. It's brighter, and I'm happier. I'm just glad I know all of you now. She brushes her lips against my forehead, and I fall into her arms. Come back home? Always, to you. Yay! The day of the country fair finally arrives. Ready? Are you? She smiles, throwing up the buttons on my dress that I can't quite reach on my back. I'll be fine. I jingle the bottle of painkillers before putting them in my purse. Just let me know if you need them. The ones you gave me earlier are kicking in. Headache is gone. Brush her hair off her forehead as we jump in the truck. It's unfortunate that it's the same night as the full moon, but I promised her we'd hang out long before nightfall. We'd be out long before nightfall. The fair is packed with various booths and people laughing and children running and playing. It's a warm, perfect summer day near the end of the season. Can't believe summer's almost over. We'll have the harvest before the first frost comes. I'll be right there every step of the way. At least I have someone to keep me warm. I bump against her shoulder as she laughs. Karishma sees me across the crowd, giving me a wave. Hey, you two, looking good. She pats me on the shoulder, glancing up at her. So, any wedding bells in the future? I know her ring size, by the way. Karishma? I give a startled laugh. What? This is the perfect way to get back at David for always having the spotlight, announcing an engagement during the birth of his baby. I was explicitly told not to do such a thing. Boring. Well, offer stands. She elbows Shauna, who smiles as she walks away and scratches the back of my neck. She's being silly. It doesn't mean... Well, it might be handy to know your ring size anyway. Just in case. Just in case you decide to marry me? Oh, I've already decided. She squeezes my hand as we walk. But I want to go at your pace. Should I probably meet your parents first? Is this a joke or are you serious? She just smiles and doesn't say anything. We stop by a tent that's selling roast beef sandwiches and I happily take one for lunch. Shauna chows down on a massive leg of roasted meat. I'm starving. I think it'll be good for you to eat meat today. I whisper to her. You mentioned the hunger during, Maybe it'll help if you're full. I'm not going to say no to that. She speaks with her mouth full, making me laugh. Jude gives me a tip of his glass where he's drinking with Mr. Bainbridge. He's got a cigar he's puffing on. Whoops. All that smoke is good for the children around, yeah? Pah, you're as bad as Mrs. Bainbridge. Yeah, you tell him, Mavis. He lights a cigarette of his own. I just shake my head and walk away from the smell. We stop by a tent that's judging quilting and knitting competition. Shauna stops by to admire the creations. You could enter next year. I don't think I'm that good yet. You take it to the craft more than I have. Still have the scarf? You kidding? I'll be wearing it all winter. There's a lineup of antique tractors in a pulling competition with people cheering for them on the sidelines. Dad won that one 20 years ago. Still has the ribbon. Want to give it a go? I laugh. Maybe next year, if you enter the knitting competition. I'll happily take that deal. Constance is with her daughter Lizzie at the small petting zoo where there are fluffy sheep and cows with sweet eyes and ringing bells around their necks. There's a temperamental baby goat that's headbutting the fence. Shauna takes my hand as we stop to say hello to the animals and Constance watches the two of us. Have a lovely time, you two. I'll be seeing you tonight at the pie competition. Good luck, dear. You too. Thank you. Shauna vanishes for a moment before returning with the stuffed sheep they were selling at the booth, presenting it to Lizzie. She beams, squeezing it tight. Thank you, miss. Constance smiles at her. Why don't you two come over sometime? I'd love to have you. I've got some new recipes I'd like to try. I'd love that. She gives me a smile that could almost be taken as an apology before heading off as Lizzie drags her to the next attraction. There's a band set up on stage. We stop for a while. She spins me around as I laugh, holding onto her as we sway together to the music. She presses a kiss to my cheek and I beam. Nervous about the pie competition? Maybe a little bit. I tried the new recipe. It's perfect. I'm not just saying that because I love you. I feel giddy over hearing those words and I laugh. I know. With baking on the mind, I pass by the little booth run by the cafe in town. The owner glances up when he sees me. Okay, I'm gonna be right back again. Sorry. Okay, I should be good until I finish this though. Mavis, enjoying the day? Always, but I have something to tell you. I'd like to start baking for the cafe after this year's harvest. It'll probably be just over the winter at first, but... Oh, you're amazing, and if you win the competition today, we can have prize-winning bakes in store. Well, don't put the cart before the horse. I've not won anything yet. But yeah, going back to what Karishma said about how the way Mavis is feeling affects the way she bakes. One of the contestants on the Great British Bake Off said that when you bake, you put a lot of love into it. No, she said when she bakes with love. Everything she bakes, she puts a little love into it. So, that's kind of the same idea. I'm rooting for you. Thank you again. We passed by a log chomping competition. They're still taking sign-ups and Shauna jumps in. I watch in amusement and a great deal of blatant lust, watching her chop the wood, muscles flexing and sweat down her brow. She comes in third and receives a round of applause. She smiles until we're out of sight and she grimaces. Overdid it a little bit. Painkiller? Quickly fumble for my purse, dropping by to get a cup of water for her so she can take it. How are you feeling? Better with you. It'll get worse as the sun goes down. I'll be right there with you. Besides, the baking competition is in half an hour and then we can head home. That time already? We better get over there. I make a pit stop at the car where I pick up my freshly baked pie and we drop it off at the tent. We wait anxiously as I watch the judges go through each pie, taking notes and conferring with each other. I tense up as I get to mine, standing in front of me. It's got an intricate pie lattice with handcrafted pastry flowers and blueberries. Ah, Mavis, always a delight to see you. What do you have for us today? It's my grandmother's blueberry pie. Ah, again? With a few changes, my own spin on it. It was lovely the way it was, but sometimes you don't know it's missing a few ingredients until you try it with them. Shauna finds my eyes across the room to give me a supportive smile. The judges try it, their eyes lighting up. Oh, what did you add to that? That's delicious. One of the other judges nudges her, not wanting to reveal too much just yet. I have lemon in the pie crust and lemon zest and juice in the blueberry filling, along with just a touch of maple syrup and warm baking spices. She gives me a smile and makes a note of it before heading on to the next entry. I wait with bated breath with the others. Constance and I share a nod in line as the judges line us up. We have had some incredible entries this year, especially from our hosting town of Wickdare. Thank you so much. It is our privilege every year. They go on and on. I shuffle my feet, stomach giving a nervous flip. In the news you have been waiting for, we have deliberated and debated, but we have come to an agreement. In third place, There's a smattering of applause. I forced myself to as well, ears ringing. And in second place, my stomach is in knots now. I hold on to Shauna tightly lest I fall over. And in first place, Mavis! I gasp as Shauna envelopes me in a hug. There's a burst of applause. Constance congratulates me and I am beaming ear to ear. Congratulations to all the winners. We'll be having our ribbon ceremony with the rest of the crafting competition tonight at sunset. My heart drops in my chest as I share a glance with Shauna. We're supposed to be out of here long before sunset with the full moon tonight. People take slices of all the pies, sharing them around. The two of us grab slices of my blueberry pie and take a seat on the grass outside. You don't have to stay for the ceremony. Are you kidding? She wraps her arm around me. It'll be just fine. We'll make it work. Maybe I have to dip out early, but I will fight that wolf every step of the way to make sure I see you rewarded. It's just a ribbon. It's what you dreamed of. She kisses me, tasting of blueberries. I'm so proud of you. Couldn't have done it without you. I doubt that. No, really. Karishma said my bacon is terrible when I'm sad. You make me happy. And it was your idea to change up the recipe. Then I'm glad I could help. We sit and enjoy the pie. At sunset, I get a little nervous, checking the progress of the sunset and the eventual rise of the moon. I'm brought on stage with the other winners from the various crafting events. Best jam, best knitting, best cookies, best cake. My heart pounds both from nerves of being on stage and the terrible timing. Luckily, I'm one of the first ones up and the ribbon is pinned to my dress. Wonderful pie again. You'll have to send me the recipe. I smile and wave to the crowd. I find Shauna watching me, beaming, even as her hands shake at her sides, nails digging into her palms. I scurry down from the stage as soon as I'm able, clapping for the others as we make a hasty exit. But that's quickly thwarted. So much for an Irish goodbye. Krishna catches my eye, frowning. You're not staying for the band's big performance? I glance between her and Shauna. Shauna isn't feeling well, so we're going to head in for an early night. Aw, feel better soon, and Mavis? She smiles, giving me a hug. So well deserved. I'm so proud of you. That pie was delicious. If you hadn't won, I'd have to go speak with the judges and give them a piece of my mind. I laugh and grab her hands. Thank you. You've been a good friend. Love you always. Love you more. Never. I laugh. I wave goodbye as we hop in the truck. How are you doing? Glance out the windshield, sun dipping on the horizon. Not the best. She scratches her neck, wincing. I'm right here. It'll be all right. I step on the gas, tearing along the dirt roads and out into the countryside and away from the fair. The sun is gone now, and the first stars are coming out. The bright light of the moonlight shows overhead. Moon sort of looks like a blueberry. I snorted at her attempt to cut the tension. Big circle, little circle. I see it. She hops out of the truck as soon as we get to the stop. You should get back in the truck and head home. I'm not leaving you. I hold on to her hand, a flick of fear and nerves lighting up inside me. She keeps steady eye contact as moonlight washes over us both. Her hands grow in my own, long, sharp claws beginning to grow. His fur sprouts all along her body, which twists with the transformation. Oh, that's beautiful! She gets bigger, towering above me on her haunches. She shakes her head, jaw unhinging as the wolf takes over. She tips her head back, letting out a howl to the moon. It's a haunting sound that echoes across the field. I keep hold of her hand, now paw, as tightly as I dare. Shauna? She looks down and I see the fury, the boiling rage of the wolf's curse burning in her canine eyes, and watch it fade. Her body relaxes into my hold. I reach out my other hand, and she bumps her head against it affectionately. I even dare to pet behind her ears. I'm not going anywhere. I take a seat right on the grass, and the werewolf curls up next to me. She's so big I can rest right on her flank. I know you're in there, and I love you. She lets out a soft whine, nudging up against me. I lean back, feeling her fur beneath my hands, softer than I expected. We sit there, my werewolf and I, watching the stars. The madness of moonlight doesn't touch her, not when I'm there to help bring her back to earth. In the years that would follow, the residents of Wickder would report sightings of a massive wolf. Any who passed through town would never believe the rumors, but people had their own stories of sightings. The wolf of Wickder was known to give a mournful howl at the moon, but never frightening, known to guide lost sheep back to their pens, to guide a lost child back home. And once, when that chain corporation threatened to pull the vanilla teapot out of business, it was said that the chain packed up and left town after their owner had a terrifying experience one evening that he refused to recount to anyone. But But every sunrise on the nights of the full moon, the wolf who worked there would return to my door, scruffy, exhausted, and falling right into my arms. No matter how far the wolf would carry her, she would always return home to me. Yay! Oh, cool. Hang on. Nice! That's really cool, the way it switches back and forth. Yeah, about all that changes is right here in the chest. That's cool. Thank you for coming, Joy, and for watching. And I know Gray didn't stick around, but thank her for me for at least popping in and saying hi. So yeah, that's it for this week. Next week I haven't quite decided. Fiction Factory Games is going to be releasing a solo tabletop RPG rule set for free on the 25th, which is Tuesday. Yeah, the VOD will go up on YouTube, so she can watch it on Twitch if she can't wait, and then on YouTube if she doesn't get a chance before then. Yeah, the 25th is next Wednesday, which is when I'll have to stream. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. So I was thinking about looking at that as my stream next week, but I haven't decided yet fully. But basically with the solo tabletop RPG, it's just you get a rule set and you just play it by yourself, I guess. You can turn it into just, summarize the things that you come up with, or do a journal entry, or actually write a story based on it. So I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Probably once it's actually released, I'll figure it out and I'll get my head sorted out. And if I don't do that, then I will probably play another Skywrite game. But regardless, I will probably definitely play a Skywrite game the week after next. I just don't know which one yet. So, yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for everyone who joined me for the stream. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Drink water, eat food, take a nap, take your meds, take a shower, whatever you need to do for self-care. And I'll see you next time. Bye!